Hey there, to all you fine folks. How's it going today? Man, I got a special guest. We've talked before, but man, we got a crowd today. It's gonna be fun.
We
Greg,
do? How big's the crowd?
currently this is just starting and get people out there. We're close to I think it says 5,000 right now. So
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. Well done.
Thank
Anyway, I
you.
interrupted your introduction. Do forgive me.
No, no, you're good, man. You're good. That's about my introduction. Hey there. And then freeform it from there. Greg Ellis, though. I want you to we can you introduce yourself, Greg?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Greg Ellis. If you don't know me, you're not missing much. No, I'm just kidding. I am, gosh, what can I say? From England. You can tell by my accent. I'm not going to give a long-winded spiel about who I am. I'm just a man who's trying to fight, who fought for 6, 7 years in the system that Johnny's been fighting in for 6 years. And I know what it's like. And I fight on behalf of other men and women, and mothers and fathers and children on a daily basis to bring some kind of rationale and reason and justice to what's going on within the family court system, as I call it, the cartel of family law, and to inform people and hopefully create some kind of impact to bring about some kind of change. And obviously, this case is very high profile, and it's finally given Johnny a chance to speak. He's kind of been legally restrained from speaking for so many years. So it's refreshing to be able to have this, as I call it, a Men Too dialogue, not a Me Too monologue.
I can't imagine having to sit there, constrained for this many years and not say a word, until finally you finally get your moment in the court. And really, even before that, not knowing if your moment in the courtroom is going to be televised, so you get to tell it to the world, or if it's going to be adapted for the public, I suppose, by the media. When I look at the media right now, I don't recognize the trial that they're watching. It's like we're talking about two different things.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember as well that even though Johnny has a voice in the court, he's not able to speak on his terms. He's responding to questions from his counsel and defense counsel. So it's still a kind of stunted narrative in stops and starts, particularly when there's defense counsel cross-examining him and he's not able to, for the most part, finish a sentence. Or many times objection, objection. So I think it's important to remember that, and also from the perspective of we can have an opinion, and that's what I think about. When I think about believe women or believe all women, I think that was just a horrifically bad slogan and way to move forward. We should listen to a woman. We should listen to a man, and we have jurisprudence. We have the legal system for a reason, and the burden of proof in Western civilization is on the accuser for a reason. They have to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. Johnny's in that situation now. He's having to prove his case beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury will decide. We don't know what the jury's thinking. We can all surmise, and people in the court can have an opinion, and there are jury experts who watch them, and body language experts, and all the micro expressions. But I'm always reminding myself it's a very high bar to win a defamation case, an extremely high bar. So I wouldn't be surprised if Johnny didn't win, but I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah, I always try to temper any type of optimism and pessimism. Really, I want to be very realistic, like you're talking about. It is, again, it is a if a case like this wins, it's almost precedent setting in the way
Yep.
that it's definitely precedent setting,
I've,
not just in the jury, but or not just in the courtroom, but also socially. It's a precedent setting.
I've been saying this for a long time now. I've been looking forward to this for this very reason. The Me Too movement. Look, there are Not every man in Hollywood is Harvey Weinstein, and not every
Right.
woman in Hollywood is Amber Heard. But there are many more Harvey Weinsteins out there and many more Amber Heards. I'm not conflating the two and saying that they're very similar. What I'm saying is men and women. There are bad women, there are good women, there are bad men, there are good men. And this notion that we talk in dichotomous terms, in terms of extremism, by that I mean black and white and believe all women. And no, we should listen to a woman. And I think this precedent, when you talk about the precedent setter, I think about, particularly in family law, the false allegation of domestic violence. That, the majority of allegations of domestic violence are, when they move from an EPO or a TRO stage, which is an emergency protection order or temporary restraining order stage phase, to a permanency hearing, the majority of them aren't provable and are not proved and are not granted. So this shows that there are some that just haven't been proved in court. I'm not suggesting it didn't happen, but so many of them are false. And the success of this silver bullet, as I call it, the paradigm of the silver bullet in family law, used by attorneys like Wasser and Specter and Bogan in my case, they all use this. Why? Because it's successful. And it's that reputation savaging from the off. And there is no means to go back in time and remedy that. No amount of money, I don't care if it was $50 billion, is going to remedy the damage done to the individual, to their family, to their friends, to their colleagues, to anyone and everyone that knows them, and the aspersions cast in the mind about that person. They kind of linger like this sulfuric miasma. Is there any truth to it? Was there any? And
Right.
I'd just say to people who are maybe watching and listening, think about that. We think about Johnny, understandably, I wrote today, one of the most beloved actors in Hollywood, one of the most kind, generous, softly spoken, talented gentlemen in Hollywood. Think about all the other men who aren't celebrities,
Right.
all of those men who've been canceled, all of those men who've lost their livelihoods, all of those men who've lost their families, all of those men and fathers who can't see their children anymore. And more importantly, all of those children who don't have a father anymore, because the same tactic was used in family law. And I also want to take a moment to think about those men and fathers who are no longer with us, who couldn't bear the living grief of being separated from their families and their children, who couldn't bear going on. And I think it speaks to this bigger picture. And this is why, you mentioned the precedent setter and why it's so important, is because there's been this general indifference to the plight of man and the male and the father for so long. There was this catch-all with Me Too, where even the merest whiff of an allegation. I mean, I was saying to you, last week, I reached out to Fred Savage. Now, I don't know the details of Fred's situation. I don't know what happened with the investigation that found, quote, inappropriate behavior. There may be some truth to it, but until I see the evidence, I'm going to listen. But until I see the evidence, he gets my support,
Right.
as would anyone. And I've supported men who aren't in the public spotlight. A man who is facing 21 years in prison for federal prison for kidnapping his own daughter when all he was doing was visiting with her. A woman in Pennsylvania, Marianne Petrie, who was falsely accused of child abuse and lost her children, lost her job as a nurse, was sent in prison, had a heart attack. There are so many people who've been suffering through the system for so long. So I hope people now, and I think it's predominantly, as I was saying to you as well, women seeing through this lens of this modern neo-feminist, all men bad, the people like Dr. Charlotte Proudman and Joan Meyer and Ellen Barkin Mad, and Patricia Arquette, and this rabid strain of feminism that's intersectional, that's about identity politics. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care what your sex is. I don't care what your political persuasions are. You get the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in the court of law before a judge or jury of your peers. That's it. And I hope more people, and I've been seeing that. That's why I'm so encouraged, is to see particularly women, particularly females, pushing back on these types of women saying, no, you don't get to do this. So I hope people don't just support, follow, and are in Johnny's corner, but they actually really get involved, whether it be on a personal level, community level, or online, or even a global or national level, to really continue to take part in this conversation and bring about changes in legislation, and public opinion and perception about individuals, even if it's someone we don't like. It could have been anyone in Johnny Depp's shoes, and I'd have been standing beside them. It wouldn't have been as public, obviously, but I would have been standing beside them and taking the flack. And good grief, I've taken some.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen some of this stuff aimed at you. You can see the change socially, like you said, women led. It's a women led charge, and it has to be. This absolutely has to be taken apart by females. Males, when they speak out, the social setting for that has been, well, you're an ist, you're a bigot in some way. But women, it doesn't work against them. And
Correct.
you were also talking about legislation, and I found that to be the most, I guess, fascinating part of this. The claims, when they were magnified by the ACLU, they were meant to influence legislature. They were meant to take things into a more draconian, even more draconian state than we already see. And they were going to make Johnny Depp the face of violence against women.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Well, you mentioned that. Okay, here's something really important I want to talk about: the Violence Against Women Act, which, interestingly enough, was the piece of legislation in 1974 that Joe Biden, he led that legislation. Now, on the surface, okay, it sounds like the Me Too movement and all of these movements originally sound a great piece of legislation. Who's not going to support violence against women, the Violence Against Women Act, or VAWA? But when you lift up the hood, or the bonnet, as we say in England, and you look at the legislation, it's caused horrific damage to children and parents and families across America. And it's just been renewed. And not only that, there's Caden's law, which is coming in, which the states are trying to bring in. And it's being pushed again. It's being pushed by this very rapidly angry, rage-fueled, anti-male fervor strain of feminism that, to me, is not about equality feminism and empowerment feminism. It's more about, I don't want to talk too much about, but Dr. Charlotte Proudman saying, this case is absolutely nothing to do with evidence. And she contended that any man who's falsely accused, or any man accused who even questions the accusation or the allegation, is not doing his part and needs to atone for. So she's basically found every man guilty, which to me is astonishing. And when you look at the legislation, VAWA, which this really brought in and weaponized the false allegation of domestic violence, although, like many of these laws, well-intentioned. And that's for financial gain. And what VAWA did was it brought in a series of law enforcement grants, if you will, that shifted the focus away from the problems of the relationship, i.e., two people have a disagreement, a friend, a sister, a mother, the community helps to get them off the battlefield and find a better way to interpersonally relate and work through their issues, to a law enforcement approach to domestic violence, resulting in a shift. And this is what's important to note: from the prior discretionary approach to law enforcement interaction, to mandatory arrest policies. So it took away the discretionary nature of law enforcement showing up and both parties being able to have a little cooling off period, a conversation with maybe law enforcement, to mandatory arrests. And that's what's interesting to note in Johnny's case as well. There wasn't a mandatory arrest. In fact,
Right.
it was, I think it was noted in the incident report, it was verbal abuse. And that was what Amber
Mm.
Heard had stated. So it seemed like there was a verbal altercation. And as well, VAWA created all this money for stop grants. And to qualify for the stop grants, law enforcement had to adopt policies. These policies are mandatory arrests. So you see where I'm going here. Law enforcement are forced to prosecute domestic violence to keep their coffers full and to get more money. So this funnels people, predominantly men and fathers, into a system that almost ensures the destruction of the relationship and the destruction of the family. And then I think the other thing I want to mention as well is the domestic violence coordinator for the LAPD, who took the stand yesterday. What came up for me is the mandatory arrests and no drop prosecutions. So when this was brought in to legislation, this means that the state will prosecute a crime over the objection of the victim. So there was a couple that I spoke to who had a harrowing experience in family law. She fired the silver bullet, the false allegation at her husband, encouraged by one of these nefarious attorneys. And she realized after a few days that she made a horrible mistake and she'd over exaggerated and she'd lied or told untruths in her declaration, and she wanted to recant. She went to the police. They wouldn't. She went to the police with her attorney. They wouldn't. The state will prosecute this crime over the objection of the victim. So if a victim doesn't want to move forward with a prosecution, the states don't care. So it very effectively ends the opportunity for any couple or partners or spouses to get help to mend their interpersonal relationship problems outside of law enforcement. And these state heavy-handed actions create this environment that leads to the irrevocable loss of the relationship, of marriage, of family, and impacts children for the rest of their lives. And that's, I think, why I'm so staggered that this isn't more of a national health emergency and more people aren't talking about this.
A lot of people are scared to talk about it. Really, that's the thing, because you were talking about the backlash that you've received. Man, most people, just personally, people aren't geared toward it. But it doesn't just stop at the personal. It goes after the professional. Even standing up, even just saying, "Hey, there's a problem with this." Forget standing with people that are accused, and again saying innocent until proven guilty. I mean,
Yeah.
just again making commentary about law itself. How dare you not want women not to have this because you stand up against the Violence Against Women Act?
Yeah, it's really, one of the really difficult things to understand, and it's through my work over the last 4 or 5 years in this arena, is who are the main opponents, right? So there are people with vast amounts, there are groups and movements with vast amounts of money, and they've had them for a long time. And there's really two opponents to overchanging these laws, or changing these laws and repealing them and improving family law and making it genuinely better for victims, for children, for parents, for families in general, and for all of us. And those two main groups, one is not surprising. It's what I call the American divorce machine, the family law industry. I think we're up to nearly $18 billion a year that they make. So they're incentivized to put cash over kids and profits over parents. The other one is a very, very difficult group to overcome. This is the domestic violence support groups. So, for example, and they get tens of millions of dollars in support. So it's groups like, I think about Refuge in the UK, which was started 51 years ago by the wonderful, incomparable Erin Pizzey. And she found that of the first 100 women who came into her shelter, it was the first domestic violence abuse shelter in the world. She found that of the first 100 women that came into her shelter, 60 of those women were as or more violent than the men they left. And she spoke out about that. And her cat was poisoned and killed. The bomb squad was sent to her home. She was hounded out of England. She's still going, this woman. She's not even allowed into her own charity that she started because she spoke out and had the audacity to suggest that women can be violent too, and they can. But our approach and how we perceive women, if you look at the same crime committed by a man and committed by a woman, men are going to get longer sentences. They're going to get shunned publicly and in the community more. So that this notion that masculinity is toxic and the patriarch needs smashing, no, it doesn't. There are some great things that men have done through history, and there are some horrible things that men have done, and the same with women. And I think if we can start approaching this with a more nuanced viewpoint, we can see that Amber Heard is not indicative of all women. And look, here's the thing: I don't come from the school of well, toxic masculinity, well, toxic femininity, well, all men bad, well, all women bad. It's
Right.
going to get us nowhere, absolutely nowhere. And I don't want to vilify and castigate Amber Heard. I think what she's done is reprehensible. I think she needs to be held to account, and I think it's the legal system. I don't want anyone cancelled. I really don't. I think we have to find a way to unblock the apology pathway. Now, once unblocked, and by that I mean if someone comes forward and says, I'm really sorry, we have to eventually find a way to allow them to atone for that mistake. But of course, that starts with the person apologizing and realizing and taking responsibility for what they've done wrong. And with her, I think in terms of perjury in the UK, I mean, it's clear that she's committed acts of perjury.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's imprisonable by up to 7 years. And of course, it's rare that happens. And I think in family law, I think if you go back, perhaps one might find instances where she has committed acts of contempt. It's the same thing as perjury in family law. It's called contempt. So probably met multiple charges of contempt, I would imagine, in her very first declaration. But this is where it starts. It starts in family law. It starts with the petitioner, the person who initiates the divorce and signs those divorce papers first and initiates the divorce. And 80% of the time that's female. In fact, the number goes up to 90% when it's educated women. So predominantly, if you look at the numbers, women initiate divorces, men don't leave marriages. And because you have this silver bullet, and the bias and the power that silver bullet brings, and the power of being the petitioner and not the respondent, it is the super weapon, if you will. And we really need, the one thing that I would call for is a presumption of innocence in family law. How do we live in 2022 with criminals, terrorists, rapists, murderers, pedophiles getting human rights, getting the presumption of innocence, getting due process? And parents and spouses and partners in family law don't. And because they don't, and because predominantly it's the male, the father or the man who is the respondent, guilty till proven more guilty. This has to change. Has to
Well,
change.
you brought up the lawyers and their part in this, and I
Mm.
do find it fascinating. One of the first commentary, in her messages, speaking back and forth with Depp, she said, the lawyers, they're the ones that initially constructed these allegations. So,
Well, yeah, the interesting thing about the attorneys as well is the attorneys in family law, they are members of state bar associations. Okay. So who writes the code, the family law code book, the code of ethics that family lawyers have to go by, and the rules that the judges and the lawyers have to go by? The state bar associations. Who are the members that write these rules? The attorneys within the state bar associations. There is no oversight, zero oversight. They're not even answerable to the Supreme Court. There is no one watching the Wild West of family law. So these attorneys can get away with the most outrageous unethical behavior, and nothing, literally nothing, can be done. No one's holding them accountable.
by the way, since while we're before we continue, I want to mention we got 20,000 people watching now. So,
Good grief. Hello, listen, I was
yeah, I
so
want your
amazing.
channel. Well, I want you have a channel, and it is criminally underwatched because YouTube never. I sub to your channel, and they won't tell me it's there. So would
Oh,
you?
really?
Would you shout your channel out for a second there?
Sure. Yeah, it's The Respondent. So my YouTube channel is The Respondent. I also have therespondent.com, which contains information about my book, an audio book, The Respondent, Exposing the Cartel of Family Law. I have episodes of my show, The Respondent, my video and podcast series there at therespondent.com. I also am excited to announce as well that I recently launched the Respondent community, which is the URL for that is community.therespondent.com. If anyone goes to therespondent.com, you'll see the link to the community. That will, joining the community, it's a safe space for folks suffering the injustices of the family law system, and also an informational place. And I mean, there is a movie in development, I'm excited to say, of The Respondent, an adaptation of the book. I'm really excited about who is involved, and I wish I could share, but people can try and fill in gaps wherever they'd like to. There is also a documentary in development, which I'm really excited about as well, of The Respondent. And I think there is also, I just want to mention as well, there's a book for anyone who's suffering in family law right now or false allegation. There is a book that is available at therespondent.com. I wrote a book called The Code. For those who followed me for a while, hashtag The Code. I did that for a while, and that was kind of just to kind of loosely publicize that book. And that book, The Code, is really for people who need immediate interventions into well-being. There are so many people that are in the family law quagmire right now and in the grips of the legal system. There is no escape. That's what I want people to know. You can wave the white flag, but if someone has deeper pockets than you, or there is an attorney that wants to keep going, you can do anything and everything. There is no way out. So that book provides emotional tips, somatic healing tips for if you're actually in the system right now. And then there's my book, The Art of Family Law War, which is available on Amazon as well, that's really my blueprint for all of it's basically about 20 presentations in one, not even condensed. It's kind of my bibliography of explaining how this happens, why it happens, who it happens to. It includes recommendations. I talk about child protection services, child support models, the American divorce machine, parental alienation, jurisprudence. I break down the cast of players within the system of the cartel of the family law. I explain the silver bullet paradigm, if you will. Yeah, that's really it. And anyone who's interested in kind of what I've done showbiz wise, I think it's realgregellis.com. But I tend to try and keep a low profile about that these days because it's not as important as my work for and with people who are struggling through this horrifically unjust family law system.
It does, though. I mean, like your name with Greg Ellis carries weight, though, with association with like people with Johnny Depp. Like you have maintained, and not just a declaration of innocent until proven guilty, but this guy here, this guy's innocent. I mean, you have stood firm. You, like you were saying online, you planted your flag. I remember you posted that recently. You planted that flag and you stood fast, and you have never wavered at all.
Integrity is earned in turmoil, not merely asserted in comfort. And when I went through my situation, I didn't have the profile Johnny had. And for those who don't know my story, I was in 2015. I was, gosh, at home with my sons, my two beautiful sons, 10 and 8 years old, and excuse me. And in the span of 8 hours, I was ushered from my home in handcuffs at the behest I later discovered of my now ex-wife. We were married for nearly 20 years, never an issue. No history of violence, no criminal record, just living a great life with my ex-wife, my future ex-wife. I was incarcerated immediately. That was the first of 5 incarcerations. I became homeless overnight, almost destitute. There were 5. I lost so many friends. No one wants to be near someone who's accused of domestic violence. And I remember there were 5 people who loaned me a few $100s each, and that kept me alive. There were, I mean, gosh, I want to speak about those people, but they allowed me to at least keep breathing. And in for me, I crossed that legal Rubicon from citizen to respondent, just like that. I had no notion of the legal system, of divorce, of family law. And in crossing that legal Rubicon from citizen to respondent, I migrated myself from a world of presumed innocence and respected privacy to one of assumed guilt and immediate and ruthless judgment. And from that day, I committed myself to really trying to stand up for as many people as possible who are unjustly cancelled. I mean, this social murder that's been going on, not just cancelled in court, and doing it even and particularly when it's difficult to do, particularly when it's against the grain of public opinion. So that, the cartel of family law, I call it that, they showed up on my doorstep, stole my freedom. They kidnapped my children and in effect murdered my family. And I know that sounds like a Hollywood movie trailer for a psychological thriller or a Hitchcockian nightmare, but that will be the movie. And it happened to me, and it's been happening to hundreds of thousands of people, decent, law-abiding citizens, mainly fathers and men, some mothers and women, across America for decades now. And the judges, the attorneys, the state bar associations, the mediators, psychologists, guardian ad litems, none of them want their dirty little secret to get out. Because if it does, that cash cow is burned. I mean, you look at Dr. Charlotte Proudman, an anti-male, misandrist, barrister, self-anointed expert, who for years now has just broken up families, ruined the lives of children. It breaks my heart to think about it, because our children are the innocent ones,
Unapologetically too.
Unapologetically. And then, gosh, posting these, you look at some of the social media about what a privilege. Now, she may have earned that privilege, okay? That's fine. She may have worked hard. But you're living such a great life off the skeleton of children and parents and families. Where is your moral compass? How can you live with yourself? And then there's people like Joan Meyer, a pseudo-intellectual who comes out with these research papers that say there is no such thing as parental alienation. And she fights any changes that will actually do good. This zealotry is despicable. And I think back to the case in the UK, the High Court case. There is so much I want to say, but Baroness Helena Kennedy, there's a name to watch, okay? There's someone to investigate, look into. Just because she's a baroness and in the House of Lords, who cares? It makes it actually worse.
Yeah.
Because, the ties that she has to these victims commissioners that they have in England, they are pernicious misandrists who believe they are all victims. Everyone is a victim, and they're all interconnected. I mean, you look at, Camilla Parker, you look at Judge Andrew Nichol and his son Robert Palmer, who works for Talk Radio UK, and Dan Wooten and Jeffrey Robertson and Jen Robinson. And I mean, the connections and the nepotism and how this web gets weaved is fascinating. The dinner parties that I had, the gatherings, the social gatherings, the clubs, the discussions, and ultimately, they're all protecting their own, and so many of them are ruining the lives of children and families and parents, and and I would never wish what's happened to me and what's happening to Johnny on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. But in a way, I'm so grateful that it's happening, and I'm so proud of the man. I can't tell you how proud I am of him. Um, no one knows what he's been through,
Oh,
but
no.
now finally, I mean, I spoke. I'm not going to. I can't reveal details, but let's just say I spoke to the court to the courthouse the other day, a couple of days ago, and I will say that he's in. I mean, how would you feel if you'd been sequestered for 6 years and globally your name had been dragged through the mud, and the very person who had been that victim perpetrator playing the victimology card, because as you know, victimhood is the new social currency and its economy is booming, and you weren't able to speak. I mean, celebrities, movie stars can't at the best of times anyway. That's why there are PR machines and PR people to kind of make sure that there's, things are controlled and don't get out of hand and spun. But after 6 years, to finally be able to even just understand, speak as much as what's rotten born? Yeah, rotten born.
What a name,
He's
huh?
yeah, well, yeah. I tell you what though, good attorney.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, he is.
good
Yeah.
attorney.
Mhm.
The lady that works with
Elaine. Ooh, yeah.
I I'm staggered, frankly, because I've been waiting to see, these teams of attorneys at these law firms, they each have a particular, speciality. Like before the trial, I spoke with Ben Chu. By the way, I got to tell you, what an upstanding man. I talked with him. He mentioned to me about, and this is, maybe a month or two beforehand, a couple of months before the trial started, about character witness, potentially me being a character witness, and you get a sense of someone.
Yeah.
Um, he's one of those kinds of attorneys that has integrity, and that integrity and his reputation has stood him in good stead for many a year and will continue to. But his style of attorneying and lawyering is going to be different to Camille's, is going to be different to Elaine's, is going to be different to, what's his name, Benjamin?
Yeah.
Is Benjamin
Yeah,
Button? Oh, yeah.
actually, so yesterday, I always mention this to you, so you didn't hear this yesterday. Adam Waldman, he had his deposition, and he mentioned contacting 3 social media accounts, including us, and he mentioned something. I always thought this was kind of a sad declaration of where we are. He mentioned talking to internet journalists, like myself, and I think back to that time, you couldn't get an article that was pro Johnny Depp into the mainstream media. People, to get the truth of this stuff out there, you had to contact internet journalists, and I really got a feel for Adam Waldman and the integrity that, I mean, you can tell what kind of person that you're dealing with, and they're in it for the right reason, and they firmly believe in Johnny Depp.
Yep. And there are people who look. Everyone is flawed. This is not a trial about whether someone likes red wine or whether
Right.
someone on their own time, took recreational drugs. I mean, good grief, this is the entertainment industry. It's the entertainment industry, the music industry. It's rock and roll, it's movies. I mean, for those who aren't and haven't, I've been around long enough. It's been 4 decades I've been in this industry. And that kind of behavior, I'm not saying it's the norm, but it's certainly not outrageously out of the realms of possibility. But this trial isn't about that. But that's the tactics and the way that the case is being presented by each set of attorneys. You can only present the hand with the cards that you've been dealt, and I think Rottenborn has done the best job that he can possibly do representing Amber Heard. How do you represent that? Someone who admitted, we have the recording of her admitting, and the couples therapist, which, by the way, she found and instigated therapy with. And in the notes, Amber Heard stating, yes, I started physical, violent fights
Yep.
to keep him there because of my attachment theory. Not my attachment theory, because my childhood attachment. I would rather have a fight than to allow than for him to leave. And for those who were interested in the theory of that and the study of that, and where I think it was Bowlby who did the original study on attachment theory, and the basics is there are two forms of attachment. One is the ambivalent and indifferent form of attachment, which is love avoidance, and the other form is an anxious form of attachment, which is referred to as the love addict. So in this particular instance, the avoidant will attempt to leave the relationship, and the love addict, who is intensely would rather, it feels like the end of the world if the love avoidant avoids and is indifferent and ambivalent and leaves. And one of the recordings I found staggering. I talk a lot to people about communication and how we interpersonally communicate, and the simple tips like using I statements instead of you statements is a big tell when we're getting into it with a partner. If it's you're this or you did that or you, like if you can turn it around to I'm sad when and a feeling, I'm sad when you do. And the one big thing that I talk with people about is when there's a fight going on or a disagreement, there's the promise of the return and a timeline on it. And to hear Johnny saying, look, can we just let me go inside and see Lily Rose? I think it was see Lily Rose or Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk again in 2 hours. Not only did he promise the return, but he actually gave a timeline for it. And the response was startlingly, devastatingly indicative of her mindset. He literally had done everything right that every couples therapist or communication expert would talk about.
Yeah.
Promised the return, gave a timeline, was calm in tone, was below the line, as we call it. And her response was, stop doing this. Why are you doing this? And that to me belies a deep histrionic, if it's just hysterical, it's historical. There is a plight to this woman. There's a desperation to this kind of woman that went digging for gold in the Wild West of the entertainment industry and struck the proverbial gold mine and didn't know how to tend, be loving and sweet and generous and forgiving and mature, because that's not who she is. At her core, this is not who this woman is. She has no real sense of self. I think because, borderline personality disorder. And if you dig into that, if you really understand that, the sophisticated manipulation tactics of someone with borderline personality disorder, it's terrifying.
Yes, I mean, and she'll never, part of that is never being able to look into the mirror of self and to recognize any flaw that you bring to this relationship, any level of blame. It's all the insecurity, man, the terror. I always like the diagnostic. When you look through DSM, it's described as the terror of abandonment. And I always like that word terror, because we're not talking fear. We're talking a terror of abandonment. And like you said, with that sophisticated level of just blame of everything, of going in and manipulating. It's a scary stuff. I thought that Dr. Shannon Curry, her evaluation of Amber Heard, again, diagnostic is an art. It's not a science. I mean, it's science
Correct.
based in science, but it's still an art. But still, I thought her diagnosis was pretty spot on.
Well, yeah, I would tend to agree. Yeah, I am mindful of the fact, and I want people to be aware that what attorneys do on both sides in these kinds of cases, and particularly in family law as well, they find an expert who they know is going to be friendly towards them. That's how it works.
Right.
So that's not to say that the psychological evaluation that was done, I think was MMPP2. That evaluation of Amber Heard wasn't spot on, in my opinion. And who isn't going to concur with that's really supporting him and knows even a modicum of the details of this case. But that's what they do. They find, one side will find an expert that they've worked with before that's going to. I was really, you could tell. Who was the expert on the other side?
Dr. Hughes.
Dr. Hughes, yeah. Wow, she's made a career of testifying. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah,
big money.
she's been attached to. I did a little bit of research into Dr. Hughes because I was curious, and she's been attached to every high profile case I could find. She's actually had her testimony stricken a few times because she will go in admittedly without knowledge of the case at all, and she will just, like she did in this, like at first 45 minutes that she spoke, it had nothing to do with Johnny Depp. It had everything to do with the weaponization of really qualifiers. She as victim, he as aggressor.
That's right.
And I mean, that's what she does. That's her job. And she does very well at it. She makes quite a bit of money doing it.
Yes, and so the notion of finding an independence, at some point someone has to choose. What usually happens in family law, if there's a disagreement of who to choose, one side picks three, and the other side picks three, or there's one side picks three and then presents it to the other side, and they pick two of those, and then the judge will pick one randomly. But ultimately, there is always going to be some kind of slight bias there, and I agree with you about the art form. So I think the evidence is where what's interesting is to see how the jury will interpret this evidence. I thought the Camille Vasquez's talking with questioning Amber Heard, when she started out, I was a little uneasy. I think she was maybe a little nervous, understandably. Sure. She hadn't hit her stride. But as that went on, I started to see how clever, how smart she was. She didn't actually say what I think Rottenborn would have done. She would have, he would have stated, you are this, you said this, you did this, you did. She just let Amber Heard twist herself in knots.
Yep. That is the best way to do it. Make her give the narrative, make her, like you said, her panic, her sweat. And she did. You noticed too,
it was the lack of declarative at the end of that, after she took it, like, Camilla could have said, you just said, and that means that you lie, and you did, and she didn't. Right. She just she's going to let the line about the Carly Simon song, just like the Carly Simon song, right, Miss Heard? I mean, she didn't have to say what we all know. Amber Heard wrote on the mirror. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah. Well, her narrative, there's there are some many smarter, more eagle-eyed people than I that have pointed out so many flaws in her narrative. And yeah, that's a big one. Handwriting analysis people have done. Well, even the narrative to her. Okay, he did all of these things to me. So what do I do? Do I get medical attention? No, I don't. I go in and sleep for 12 hours. I lock myself in the master bedroom, which interestingly, that mirror, by the way, that mirror is in the master in-suite. So while she's sleeping, Johnny Depp somehow is going to sneak in and draw on the mirror and sneak back out. I mean, none of it.
Well, he'd have to climb over all of the hangers-on and the freeloaders all of these people who are now testifying on her side that you know, that lived rent free, and I'm not talking about the Isaac Baruches. You know, he's a very old friend of Johnny's. But that's what's amazing. You know, the domestic violence coordinator for the LAPD looked starstruck in her deposition.
Right.
And she had nothing to do with this case. Nothing to do with this case whatsoever. Nothing to do with the investigation. And frankly, I don't think she's an expert. She's a coordinator. And all of this area of domestic violence is so massively misunderstood. It's counterintuitive in many regards. And we have to be really, really careful about how we move forward. And the fact that, you know, these police officers, if you listen to what they said, who went and attended the incident, they didn't feel there was a need to follow up on it.
Her manipulation of that was it was fascinating how they tried to spin that. They spent so much time saying, so the police officers, they were indicating that they didn't think that these marks, you know, they meant that, you know, we needed someone to intercede. And it's like, no, they said there were no marks, you know, pink cheeks, pink eyes. That's the way they described it. But I liked how they tried to unsuccessfully, I personally thought. But yeah, it's
Well,
amazing.
we also lose sight of the fact that this trial is not about. I mean, even though she said, "I swung at him in all my relationships to date with Johnny, I hadn't landed a blow. For the first time, I hit him, like actually hit him square in the face, but he didn't push my sister down the stairs." End quote. Like, she's admitted to being a domestic violence abuser. Now, okay, so if hypothetically they were both violent with each other, then they should both be, you know, tried in criminal court, and they should both be. That's equality. And we hear so much about equality. So let's have a little bit of it. The irony is that this case is not about that. This case is about, did she defame him in the Washington Post op-ed?
Right.
And it was, she admitted on the stand that she wrote that op-ed based off the back of claiming what I believe to be a fraudulent, false allegation of domestic violence to get her TRO, to get that restraining order, and then this op-ed. So to me, it's the only issue or shadow of doubt there is the jury going to look at that and think, the ACLU wrote it, the Washington Post rewrote it. Did she write it and rewrite it? How much her name's on it? So obviously his name isn't mentioned. It was taken out. So like, there's the nuance. There's the gray area. But it's clear to me, at least, being objective, that she clearly defamed him. And
Oh, yes.
this notion as well, I just want to talk about this very quickly, this notion of all of these questions you know, from defense counsel about, was there an offer made for this movie? And was there an offer made for that movie? What about all the movies that would have been offered if that allegation had not been made and his reputation hadn't been savaged? You can't know all of those movies that would have been offered. You can't know all of the employment that would have been given and provided to the entertainment industry, and not just the entertainment industry, with crews and their families, whether it's the transport department, the hair and makeup department, the AD's department, the massive amounts of people, the set design on every movie that a movie star, particularly of Johnny Depp's stature, is going to bring to the table. The financial gains to the communities when there's location. When we were filming Pirates 4, we went, well, and 2 and 3 and 1, but particularly 4 and 2 and 3, but 4, we went around the world. So the local economies of Hawaii, the local economy of LA, the local economy of the Bahamas, the local economy of London, all of the places that we went to in the world and filmed, that's what's lost. And that is incalculable. You can't put a number on that. So frankly, it's pittance, $50 million. It should really be more like $1 billion, because when Tracy Jacobs was talking about the back end of movies, you know, like for Pirates, I forget what it was for Pirates 4. I believe it was in the 50s range, but for Pirates 5, I think it was 25, but a good back end. What a good agent will do and what an actor will want is a bigger back end and a smaller up front when they know it's going to be a huge movie. So there's the classic Keanu Reeves Matrix deal where his agent did a amazing back end deal for 2 and 3 because they never thought that the first one was going to be a hit. And it was massive and it made him a ton of money. So, and don't get me started on Tracy Jacobs.
Oh, Tracy J. Man, I've heard some fascinating stuff about Tracy Jacobs over time, and I've heard some fascinating stuff about what she should owe Johnny Depp. I thought it was one thing that just really stuck out to me about the entitlement there. Reading through a deposition, she was asked about having Johnny Depp buy her expensive presents, and she said, like ordering him basically to buy them. And she said, "Well, what do you think's expensive?" And she was asked, "Well, do you think $5,000 is expensive? 10,000, 20,000?" I can't even imagine living in a world so entitled where I'm like, "Hey, Greg, by the way, buy me a $20,000 whatever." I mean, that's
Well, I remember we were filming Pirates 4, and Tracy flew in, and she wanted me to show her around the island. So I actually took her in my car. It was a day off from filming, and I took her around the island to show her the island. I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but okay. There's so many stories I want to tell. And she said that she wanted to buy an ukulele for Johnny. I was like, great. And I bought 2 on the island. So I knew this ukulele store with this wonderful old ukulele maker. And so I took her to this shop. And this was her first day on the island. And we went in, I was looking around, and she basically pointed at one to the guy. I said, "How much is that one?" And he said, "That one's," and it was like $350. "What about that one?" That one's $480. And it became clear she was just looking for the most expensive one. And there was a beautiful old wood ukulele behind the man sitting on the counter behind him, just beautiful. And she said, "What about that one?" And the old man went, "Oh, no, that ukulele is not for sale." And she smiled and went, "Oh, everything has its price." And he just said, "No, ma'am, this ukulele is not for sale." And she went, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and looked at me, and I'm thinking, and this man just leaned in and said, "As I said, some things cannot be bought." And she was perplexed as to why this man would not sell to her what was just an expensive item, but to him, it had such rich meaning and had lived and breathed inside his soul and his spirit for so many years, and it was a part of his expression, and it really was not for sale. And I think I put something on social media the other day about UTA and Tracy Jacobs and the amount of money. It's not just the amount of money in the 10%, of the deals. It's really about what Johnny's loyalty to UTA brought UTA. So for those who don't know, CAA is the biggest agency in Hollywood, represent most of the major movie stars. Then you have WME, which is William Morris and Endeavor, who merged, hence the William Morris WM and the E of Endeavor. And then you have ICM, that's always been a big powerhouse. And so UTA was kind of always considered one step beneath that, still pretty big, but just not one of the big players. But Johnny Depp being there made them one of the big players, and it made more actors of his ilk and his stature and standing go to UTA and even consider UTA as being an agency for them. And that really kept, not just put them on the map, but kept them on the map. And I'm not suggesting that Tracy Jacobs and Jim Burkus and the team at UTA hadn't worked hard. Agents do work hard, but frankly, have a little class. Zip it, go away. You're not the agent anymore. So don't seek your 5 minutes in the spotlight by trashing someone's behavior and showing emails about how demanding and this, that, and the other. The entertainment business is hard enough and challenging enough because there is a lot of pretense and there is a lot of BS and there's a lot of lies. And, from individuals, from artists, we can be challenging. Agents, managers, studios, business affairs departments. There is a whole host of shenaniganry that goes on. So it's kind of unfair to I just think it's uncouth and not very classy to be behaving that way when you've had a working relationship for so many years. I think the classier thing would have been to just zip it.
They made a
And
fortune too. I mean, those the numbers that were detailed during her deposition were just astounding. I heard a story though where you were talking about UTC. I heard about them having some real difficulty at once.
it's
It
a
was
UTA or UTA?
yeah, UTI. I'm sorry. I said,
Yeah.
what did I say? UTC. My bad. Yeah, but I heard they had a mass exodus going on at one time. It was real. It was going to possibly cost them. And Johnny Depp and one other actor stood up and basically salvaged the that entire that
That's what
entire
it's
place.
that's it. I mean, that's what keeps I'm not overstating this. That's what keeps an agency like that alive when there's a mass exodus of clients. If that big star, that big name, one or two, they plant their flag and they stick around and they're loyal. And he was loyal. I mean, don't think that every multiple times a year there were advances and from CAA and WME, and that's how the agency business works. Particularly CAA. Don't think for years they had strategy and planning meetings on how they could sign and how they get to sign clients they don't have, because it's that it's such a huge victory to get a big movie star like that. So the fact that he was loyal, and he is loyal. I mean, look at the people that I think back to when my kids, my eldest boy went to school at the Hollywood Schoolhouse, and there was two guys, Cedric and Mark Quez, or Big Quez, who used to drive a purple Harley. Cedric's no longer with us. Big C, what a wonderful man. Two of the people that Johnny knew, employed, and these are big burly security guards, and he put them at the school, and they sat at the front entrance of the school, the most affable, friendly, lovely, good-natured man. And they weren't just there to protect Johnny's kids, they protected all our kids. And that's family. They were family to me and still are. Quez, I spoke to pretty recently. Big C, when he left us, I mean, it still brings a tear to my eye thinking about him because he was such a wonderful human being and he loved JD so much. I think about Nathan Holmes, and I think about, Stephen Doyers and Josh Richmond and just, so many of the team. Good, loyal people. And you don't often find that. You really don't. I know, so
Yeah, I was
it's,
surprised by the level of loyalty. Like talking to people, again, I talked to quite a few people, trying to get a feel. Again, I wanted to know. I felt like I really wanted to know. This was going to be big. You could see it, and I'm not talking about big in terms of YouTube. I'm talking about the ability to change things socially. It was going to be that big. This was relevant, and you and I talked about it a while back. Actually, it's been some time since then, and again, everybody I talk to, again, that loyalty that inspired, and it's not, they've tried to play that in the courtroom. They've tried to play that loyalty off as something that is bought financially, and loyalty can be to a point, but at the same time, not really. If money bought loyalty, then Warner Brothers sources wouldn't speak to people like me, or Disney, or there has to be something else. And Johnny Depp, and I mean, he has fiercely inspired loyalty in people.
yeah. I mean, and also conversely, the lack of people available to the other side to come forward and be disloyal.
Well,
I mean,
the people that are doing this, I mean, even those people, when you look at their life circumstances and you look at what they were provided, it's astounding. Like, okay, the main people that are joined up, and again, I realize their connection with Amber. I get friends or ex-friends, whatever, but you have people that are their primary thing that they do in life is they make beads, like bead jewelry, and they sell it at thrift stores. Nothing wrong, or thrift marts, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you do that, awesome. But you're not going to live in a penthouse across from Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp supplied them a lifestyle that they would never have known, ever. I mean, it lived across from him. They were getting manila envelopes filled with money every few months, and because of that, those people were still treated decently, and they.
yeah, it's staggering to see. I mean, I've been, having had many a celebrity friend. I mean, one story comes to mind. I'm not going to mention the name of the movie and TV star, but sitting at dinner and having dinner with 10 people, and this particular celebrity goes to the restroom at the end of the dinner, and I'm like, right, come on, everyone, let's let's pay for dinner. So it's not, because it was always, getting the card in first, and the reluctance and the astonishment that I would even make the suggestion that we would pay was palpable. So I ended up paying, and I was like, the level of just expected freeload is sometimes staggering. But I think, to your point about going back to this case, and I've probably got about five more minutes left because I have to.
Sure.
I have work to get to.
Okay.
But I think I mentioned this in one of my videos, in one of my respondent videos, which I think you can find at the Respondent on YouTube or therespondent.com. The day the world changed for Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. When she filed for divorce and went to get that temporary restraining order, or TRO, just by driving to court and saying he did it. That's all it took. That's all it takes. How can a hearsay or heardsay, as I say,
I like heard.
allegation morph into a full-blown lie believed by so many? How does fiction become fact, accepted by and judged by a hungry media, a vociferous public, and a court of public opinion? And that strategic blueprint that the likes of the Samantha Spectors of the world use, and then clients like Amber Heard, that guarantees victory and is that super weapon that works every time. It's the strategic blueprint for victory. How we can finally, hopefully, get some momentum on this conversation of how to improve family law, because this is where it started. And this is every day in America, 4,000 children lose a parent in family law every single day. I want people to think about that. We've all been children. We all know children. And many of us have children or will have children. 4,000 children a day lose a parent in family law. Thank goodness Johnny Depp and Amber Heard didn't have children. But
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that the damage done to his children. He's a father, he's a son, and these children's lives have been forever changed by this false allegation and this lie that's perpetuated, where we tell children, or we think that they'll recover and they're resilient and they'll get over it. Nah. How about we adults start behaving more maturely? How about we change this system so that the likes of people like the Amber Heards of the world, who are an affront to the real victims of domestic violence, they're the ones who need to be heard and listened to. In fact, we need to listen and hear to everyone. These people, these women like this, can be called out and held to account. And if it means spending time in jail, so be it. So be it. Get a little taste of what it's like to be in cancel culture prison when your reputation is savaged. Let's hold that kind of person, those kinds of people, those kinds of women accountable. And I encourage more and more women to join with that in doing that. And that's what I've seen. And that's what I hope to continue to see, is more of that.
I'm I'm kind of optimistic about seeing women finally, like, see, again, people have to understand the it's not negative intent that leads people down this road. It's people that we have the best intentions. I always remember that path, the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions, and that's the way we look at it. All these social movements, they are the best intentions.
Well, yeah, I think there's many of them start out that way. If you look at the people, I mean, where are the people who are so vocal during Me Too right now? Why aren't they outraged that this woman is doing a massive disservice, that's putting it lightly, to that quote unquote movement? I think I wrote on social media something about Amber Heard. Perhaps her legacy will be that she ignited a new conversation, or the renewal of a conversation that I've been trying to get going for years now, a Men Too dialogue rather than a Me Too monologue. If we're going to talk about Me Too, we need to include the men in the conversation. And for me, it starts and ends in family law, because today in family law, tools built as shields for women are too easily fashioned into silver bullets that are literally killing men. So hopefully this conversation will continue, and I'm really happy and grateful that you've given me the time to be on and have a voice. And I just want to say to everyone out there, I've been staggered, truly staggered, and it's been heartwarming to see the amount of support for not only Johnny, but for me and for many other men in a similar situation. Good men, good fathers who have fallen prey to this horrifically pernicious, vile use of a false allegation. So thank you to everyone out there who's watched this feed and been following the case, and all of the messages of support that I read. I just time on the bandwidth to respond to them all, but I see them, and keep planting that flag and hoist those colors high, and bring that horizon, which I can see. And that horizon is like life and recovery. It's not a destination, it's a journey. And that journey is continuing this conversation and doing it in a way that's civil, attacks arguments and not people, isn't ad hominem. And that's difficult to do on places like Twitter. But and last and not least, I want to thank you for giving me the time for the work that you do. And keep going, really. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Like I said, I want people to subscribe to you. You've got 9,000. We need to at least, man, you need a lot more subs than this. But the responded.
I'm so technologically unsavvy. I just try and put out content that's informative.
I'm watching you grow. I'm watching people go in. But the respondent, that's just look up Greg Ellis. You'll find it. And I don't know. I actually, you were saying, hey, before the conversation, listen, if you would listen to this to catch up. And I thought, man, I listen to your stuff because I like to listen. You have you're very easy to listen to. Your accent, man, I love it. I love it. So people should go over and check out your content though, because it doesn't just it doesn't just talk about problems, it offers solutions. And I think part of this conversation is that we need solutions.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And that's why in my book, The Respondent, I wrote about that. In fact, the final third of the book, the third part of the book is about those solutions. We need reform. We need the presumption of innocence, jurisprudence. The burden of proof must be on the accuser and not the accused. That's how it is in criminal law. I think domestic violence should be tried in criminal court, not in these quasi-kangaroo courts. Therefore, if someone is arrested and they are charged, then they go before a jury or a judge. It's pretty obvious to me. I think we need 50-50 shared parenting. A divorce must start with the default presumption that what is in the best interest of the children is for both parents to equally share in the parenting. Children need fathering and mothering, notwithstanding any extreme cases, but that should be the default, rebuttable default place to start.
Sure.
And an argument can be made as to why the one parent should get more than 50-50. I'm not going to talk about Brad Pitt's case, but that should have been 50-50. He had to fight for a long time to get 50-50. And why are we devaluing fathers? They are just as important as mothers. The other is false allegations of DV, accountability and punishments for parents or spouses and partners who make them. There has to be. If there is no deterrent for a crime, then it's a crime against humanity. And then parental alienation. We need to educate experts, parents and judges and attorneys on how to better notice the signs of parental alienation. So I would encourage anyone who's interested to, just before I hop off, to come and join the Respondent community, which is community.therespondent.com. Come join in the conversation. I'm there nearly every day, at least every other day. I'm posting, live streaming. I'm talking about this case. I'm talking about a myriad of other issues, and hoping and helping that more people can heal as we find a better way to address the charlatans, snake oil salesmen, and vagabonds that reside within the cartel of family law.
They've been so loud for so long. Hey, I noticed you got over 10,000. There we go. Bam. That's good. I was watching. I was trying to make sure your subscribers went up. I was like, man, you better get over 10,000 before we end this thing.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your time. I do need to hop because I'm a minute late for being in the studio.
I appreciate your time.
The other studio. Yeah, yours too. And look, we should do this again. And let me know, what the response has been. I don't have the.
Oh, it's been very good already. I've been watching, everybody talking about it. Everybody, they like this conversation. I mean, again, you have a lot of insights, your story, but also, I mean, you have a lot of insights into the case we're talking about. You have insights directly into the damage that this stuff can do. Again, people respond overly positive. So yeah, we'll do it again for sure.
Great. I look forward to it.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to catch some guy. Okay. Well, hey man, like I said, I appreciate you. Appreciate your time. I'm going to catch some super chats and stuff. So, again, we'll talk, thank you.
For sure. Thank you. Be well, everyone.
All right. That's Greg Ellis there. Now, Greg Ellis, like I said, he has some amazing story. Like we got into some stuff. There's a lot more that can be discussed there too. But Greg Ellis, you need to again check out The Respondent. The Respondent, his website, it's also a book. I read it early on. I read the book early on, and I like listening to Greg anyway. Like he's articulate. I love that accent anyway, but he's articulate and he's knowledgeable. Like he's very much an authority on this discussion. And people, I've noticed a social change in this discussion too, because people at first, they weren't willing to, when he talked about toxicity and the new neo-feminism, at first people responded negatively to that. Like, oh my God, how dare you? And it's not an affront. I mean, it is. It's talking about problems where people, they hijack identity. They use this stuff like a bludgeon, and women are speaking out. Again, women have to be the ones that change this. Men can speak about it. Men can talk about the affront this is. Men can talk about the damage being done, but women will have to be the ones to change the social narrative. They have to be, and women have been. That is the thing that's probably the most powerful thing that I've seen in there. That's why, again, I spend a lot of time saying, again, it's not about believe all women, and it's not about blame all women. You have to you women are again going to be the ones that lead this thing forward. They're going to be the ones that change it. I've been proud to see how that's gone. So I'm going to read some super chats here. So, and if you have questions on stuff, bam, hit them up. You can also we have we have all kinds of stuff on the channel. I'll probably do a live stream later today. Maybe I've got 2 videos. I want to drop one about the Adam Waldman, Johnny Depp's lawyer mentioning that, we'd communicated. I've got a lot of questions about that. And I'm not going to answer questions about specific communication or anything. Again, that's not how it works. Um, but I can say from my experience speaking to everyone that has been surrounding this case, like I've spoken to a lot of people that have surrounded Depp or from Hollywood that they've had, more indirect contact to direct contact to people that are very direct contact. And what I found throughout this is this, again, like I was saying, this loyalty that is inspired by someone that obviously when you look at them, you have to ask, why is this loyalty inspired in people? And the reason that loyalty is inspired was because they give loyalty back. But when looking at that, when I talk about loyalty too, I'm not talking about loyalty, like I said with Greg, I'm not talking about loyalty that it's inspired financially. It's not a loyalty that you can buy. It's a loyalty that's given because someone treats people decently, treats them with respect. And again, we are talking about flawed human beings too. Like I don't want to be like rah anyone. We're talking about again, he's dealt with he dealt with his substance abuse demons. I will never judge a person for that. I've dealt with those myself. I still would deal with those myself. Like, I'll just be honest. It takes a long time to recognize who you are in that mirror, and I mean, we're all flawed, but that flaw doesn't extend to, what the charges were in this case. And the charges in this case, I looked for people to tell me that this man was violent behind the scenes. I looked for it. I wanted to see it. I needed to see it. Because if it's there, I wanna know, and I couldn't find one person. The only person that her team could find was Elaine Barkin, who said once upon a time, a myriad years ago, he threw a bottle. I mean, wow. Jacob, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tug of Knots. Appreciate that. I'm gonna hit some super chats here. I'm gonna say if questions in there, we'll hit them. You, thanks for it too. Thanks, you both for what you do. Saved my life. I've heard testimonies from people that are amazing, and I appreciate you all. You know what? Like you all showing up, supporting channel, doing all this stuff. It's been life changing on this side too, and the acknowledgement too. I think for the mainstream media needs to change. They ignored this case for years. In fact, just to like I was saying yesterday, one of the biggest things that I found out from sources to talk about how the mainstream media is TMZ, who would cover a celebrity eating a bagel, they passed on the body cam footage from the police. They passed on it. Why would you pass on that unless there's something more? Hmm. Anyway, Uncle Brad, thanks for the 50 there. Appreciate that. I actually liked yesterday AH's witnesses, either intentionally or non-intentionally, hurt her case. Yes, I agree with that. I thought, why would you carry these people? They were just a bunch of idiots. Not smart at all. Margaret Lowe, thanks for the 5. YouTube snuck 5-second commercial on your live feed yesterday. Please get Venmo so we can bypass them. Venmo. Isn't that like where you send money? Venmo? Isn't that what that means? You know? Also, just a note, I don't get any advertisement revenue from the first day of the live stream. Like this live stream, it is supported by super chats. I will not get any revenue. Maybe tomorrow they'll approve it, or maybe later today. But like the, let's see how many views this has. Just give you an idea. Like all the views that come in right now, there won't be any. So if there's an ad, the reason I'm saying that is if you get an ad, that has nothing to do with me on it. I didn't. I don't get it. I don't get a dollar from it yet. So if they put an ad on there, yeah. I in fact, I keep the well here, I'll just show you. I keep the until it goes live later on, I keep the stuff off. Check this out. See? Here, I'll just show you straight up. Like no secret about it. Give me 1 second, I'll show you. Like I keep the monetization turned off on this because they won't approve it. It'll automatically have to have approval. So I already have it turned off, but there will be no there. You can just see it. I'll just show it to you. Say like, here's that one. See? It's not even turned on for monetization. So if you're getting ads during my live streams before, like I'll try to put an ad in later, but they won't monetize it. So just to say that has skip that ad if you want to, because I ain't getting anything off of it. Yeah. So just a note. It's Ashley. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership and welcome to Tugs. Die for JD. Thanks for that 10-month membership, by the way. Let's see. Great interview with Greg. I like Greg. He's lovely to speak to. Been subbed to him for about 18 months. He's done great many things. Again, make sure you subscribe to him because he's good. Just good to listen to. Like I like him. He's articulate in ways that I will never be. Vince R, thanks for the 5. This is great live. My wife is a survivor of domestic violence, and Amber has done nothing but create damage towards actual victims. It's disgusting. Yes. And we as a society, like I said, women will have to be the ones who fix it, though. We can talk about it. We need to further that narrative. But women are the ones that will fix it. Not have to, but they will. I'll say that. Bill Miller, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership, too. Welcome to Tugs. Appreciate that. Well, let's see. I'll make sure I catch the membership so they come in. Let's see. Jennifer, thanks for the 2. No statement, but plenty of statement backing. Thank you for that. Tristan, thanks for the 5. Good morning, Doug. Are we really thugs here? Yes, you are. You're my thugs. E. Barlow's Rotten Crotch. Hey, thanks for the 5. All hail that umbrella god. I know, man. Did you know you're in the presence of the almighty umbrella god? I didn't. I know if you're like, well, what? Maybe you didn't catch it yesterday, but not only did you find out that umbrella guy had indeed gotten to speak to JD's team, but on top of that, YouTube upgraded me to that umbrella god in the subtitles. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. They pulled that up. That umbrella god. Yeah, if you didn't know that, check this out. That umbrella god, the media user who goes by the name of that umbrella god. Oh, anyway, drink up. Hardy's question for Greg. Sorry, I'll see if I can get that. Is there any chance cast and crew boycott? That won't happen. That'll cost them money. That'll be the problem. You can't ask like a cast and crew to boycott something either because it's really unfair there. But many of them behind the scenes, I know this for a fact, have been very loud about how they want Johnny Depp back. They very much are. Even the director, we found out that he was very vocal about it. Pin caps and band-aids, thanks for the 2. Love him already. Yes, again, the respondent. Make sure you just pump up his freaking his YouTube channel. He deserves it. David Stowe, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that membership too. Welcome to Tugs. Appreciate that. I'll go. Thank you and welcome as well. Thank you for your membership. Welcome to Tugs. See, Gregory, thanks for the 10. Good morning, all, and good morning, Greg. Nice name. Thank you for everything both of you are doing. Thank you. Tristan Lee, thanks for the 2. They are casting a female instead of our Jack. Yeah, indeed. Holy crap. So I just saw something come through, and whoever sent it, just please verify you meant to send that way. I had a super or a PayPal come through that wow. Why is he called that? Umbrella Guy? A funny story, actually. So I used to have another name for the channel, and I don't remember what it was. Like, it's been that long ago. I used to make Amazon reviews. Like, I would go on and, if I picked up a product, that's why you'll find like a sprinkler review at the very end of my like channel or something, because I would make those, and I found that people would steal them and try to use them for fraud. And that made me mad. They would put them on YouTube and they would try to link it to fraudulent stuff. So I would port the review back over to Amazon, from Amazon, and I would be able to, if somebody tried to use it fraudulently, again, linking it to something like a scam, they'll try to get you to link into something. And it's nasty way people would do that kind of stuff. So when I ported them over, you could see in my reviews, you could see my hands a lot of times, and I have an umbrella tattoo on my hand, and somebody was like, "Oh my god," they kept saying this and stuff, "It's that umbrella guy again." So I thought it was funny. I was be like, "Yeah, it's that umbrella guy, all right." So I just changed the channel name to that. It always stuck. I thought it was funny, and yeah. Pigman 322, thanks for the 20. Hey, Greg, love seeing you Sunday on TV show The Rookie. I love your book. Hopefully, no one in our family will ever need it. Yeah, apologies. Like Greg, limited time. So, again, apologies for, like he said, he had a limited time there, but he made time to come talk to us. And I thought that was important. Al Jacob, thanks for 449. Thank you, everything Tug. I hope little umbrella girl, baby umbrella girl, doing great. They are very well. Everyone, seriously though, check out his book, The Respondent. Family Law is Despicable. His book is great. I mean, seriously, it is a good book, The Respondent. And if you're going through things like that, he is a great source for. You've got to remember, like when we look at these cases, people have forgotten it is innocent until proven guilty. Like when you look at the blowback to Marilyn Manson, for example, people they didn't want him. They don't want him to have his day in court. They just decided that he's guilty. And I know every case is different, but they're all the same in the fact that innocent until proven guilty. That's got to be a constant. And socially, it seems like we've forgotten that. Thanks for the 2 and the super sticker. Thank you for that. Stella, thanks for the 5. Good morning. Happy Friday. Justice for JD, indeed. Enraged Bacon, I like that name. Thanks for the 10. Tug, if Jennifer Howe comes in and tries to relate her statement, wouldn't that just be all hearsay? That's my only concern with her upcoming testimony. Well, she can use statements that were, she can use certain things out of that. She can go on record with certain items, with uh, that directly contradict. She wouldn't be able to use everything in her statement because a lot of it is hearsay. But there are certain portions that would be here. It wouldn't be hearsay. So Warren, thanks for the 10 there. Good afternoon to you, Tuggy Man, and Mr. Ellis. Greetings from Switzerland. Thank you for that. Thanks to the Pirate franchise. And I improved my English remarkably fast and passed Cambridge Advanced. Sir, that's awesome. That is an awesome tale there. Props to you. Chris Bra, thanks for the 10. Camille better be ready. She's a rock star. Now the tension of such will follow. That's indeed true. She's become a rock star out of this. And she will, she's in the public eye for all the good and all the bad. 2012, what's up, man? Thanks for the 2. Thank you, Greg Ellis. I like Greg. Like I said, I love listening to him. Diss tracks. Thanks for the 2. 2 of my friends have committed suicide over this. That's horrible, and it's very commonplace. We had a very, we had someone named Zoe Quinn that accused a guy. His name, I mess up his last name sometimes, but his name's Alec Hawalka, I believe is the way you pronounce it. But he was accused, and many of the things he was accused of could be directly refuted by public evidence. You could find evidence to directly say, no, that's not real. You know what happened with that? He killed himself the next day. You know what happened with that? Nothing. Nothing at all. She said, "Oh, I'm getting bullied because he did that. I'm going to leave social media for a little bit." And she came back a few days later and it was all forgotten. So after a while, like after people claim lives social are right there in the open, what then? Heisenberg Kindles, what's up? Thanks for the 2. Powerful, powerful words, Greg Ellis. Yes, his tale, man. Like I said, I'd like to talk to him again. Would you folks like us to have another conversation, maybe in a week or so? I could hit him up and, well, just get him on like again. I have to have him on early, but which is a strange time for me because it's in the middle of my day. But at the same time, would you want me to have him on? We are in slow mode. Yeah. Oh, I thought somebody said thank you for slow mode. Yeah, this is slow mode. This is actually a 10-second delay. I apologize. Like I said, I don't like slow mode as much, but the stuff is getting big enough that like typing back to back to back is hard. So let me see. And thanks for the 10. Why do you think so many people forget that Terry Crews was one of the driving forces behind Me Too? Because it didn't work as part of the social narrative. That's just simply the social narrative is men aggressor, women aggrieved. That has become the social discussion, and it's not. It's anybody can be a victim of domestic violence. Anyone can be an aggressor. It just you look at them individually, but the people who benefit from that, they don't want that. Bo, thanks for the 2. Thank you for bringing up mid. So, yourself on a living. Emma, thanks for the 15. It's ironic JD used a Monty Python sketch where we're practically in the modern equivalent version of witch trials. Yes. Hi, Greg. Good to address these issues again. Indeed. Greg talks about a lot of this stuff too. He's been making videos about JD. And again, he has intimate knowledge of this case. I mean, he knows Johnny Depp intimately. Like I said, he was telling that story about Tracy Jacobs. He knows this case. So when people are looking at it and they're looking for sources, I know there's like an unquenchable desire to see what's going on, and let me look. All right, so he's up to 11,400 subs. We've put about 2,000 subs on his channel, which is good. But I hope as we go forward, again, the respondent, I hope that people find his channel, they look him up, and they watch his videos too. Because he's like I said, he's good. He wants to do good. He wants to help people. That's one of the things that attracted me to that. Well, thanks for the 5 and the super sticker. Appreciate that. Chris, thanks for the 5. I'm a survivor of DVSA. I watched this trial not knowing any information, but once JD testified, I saw myself in him. I hope Johnny Depp finds closure and happiness. Amen. And it's, your testimony, your testimony, your social testimony is powerful in that kind of stuff, V, thanks for the 2. Incredibly average is also mentioned as a hero. Also a hero. Incredibly average. Two sources got me into this. Yellow Flash, like I said, I give that guy love because he's a friend of mine. I consider him a real life friend. Okay, I don't have YouTube friends. I like all of you. I love all of you. You folks are the greatest folks. You've made this thing. Thank you. But I don't claim a lot of people for friends. I mean, that's a word there. But Yellow Flash is a friend of mine, and he got me into this, and I'm grateful for it because it's something that I find to be important. And I appreciate all of you because holy crap, man, did we just pick up another 1,000 subscribers? We're up to 242,000 subscribers now. Like, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Thank you, like I said, folks. Jenny, thanks for the 10. My son has an Amber of his own, trying to drive him to suicide for years. 2 small children. Scares me daily. He's going to give up. He's afraid to get help. There's just none to be had. Hey, hit up people like again, there's communities like in the Respondent where you can talk about this stuff. And there is help. The first help, though, let me be very clear about this. The first help is helping yourself. You have to. It won't get better. It won't. The monster there is not going to get better. And that, I hate how they use that wording so casually in this case, because some people are monsters and they do harm people, and they're not going to stop. So they have to decide to walk away. And again, it is going to have impact, but you know what? It's already having impact, especially if they could drive him to suicide. It's good. Thanks for the super chat and the super sticker. Thank you. Cute Chaos, thanks for the 5. As a woman, I can't stand this whole insert identity can do no wrong, very insulting. Anyone can do bad acts. Yes, that is exactly it. Yes, indeed, you are right. No one is immune to that. Identity has become a weapon. It has become a corporate weapon. It has become something like when you sell products, you notice how the media falls all over itself for the newest, greatest product. It it has this as whatever. It's become identity has become a selling point in so many things, and it's become a shield too. Want to criticize acting job? Want to criticize something actions? Can't do it anymore because identity. It's so ridiculous and gross. Sylvia, thanks for the 10. Liars make me sick. A survivor of DVSA, IPV, VA, etc. The system needs to be fair across the board. Yes, more people need to be aware and more DV awareness. Please, we have JD, Gabby P. Yes, there has to be. Right, not Karen. Thanks for the 5. Greg, you're 100% correct. Men's rights issues are not seen as bad. Men need to stand up and fight for fairness. Yes, men have to fight for themselves too. Men have to be unafraid to say there are, just like women, there are issues that are 100% men. False accusations right now are overwhelmingly a men issue. That's something we need to talk about as a man's issue. There are actually bodily autonomy rights that deal with men as well as women. There are parental rights. Again, not even saying this in a negative, but it is. Well, I mean, saying this is a social negative. It When we talk about parenting, for example, one parent can drop their kid off at a fire station if they don't want them. The other parent is hooked for life. That is not social equality. Regardless, I love my kids too. I would not walk away from my children. But, it's just there's no equality in that. Again, it's the social dynamic is broken. We have a much higher suicide rate among men. We have men that will not get help. And if you wanna know why, go on Twitter and look at it. Look at how men are treated when they speak up. Look at the Johnny Depp. Look at the "I stand for Amber Heard" people where they're telling you, "Female, therefore," and that's it. Doesn't matter. Yeah, thanks for the, super chat. Sending love from Abi. You are amazing. Well, thank you for that love there. And thank you for that vicariously through some. Thank you. Jojo, thanks for that sticker. Appreciate that. Except for Jim, thanks for the 5. My divorce lasted longer than my 13-year-old marriage, where his pockets were deeper. Yep, that happens. Lydia Bell, thanks for the 5. Greg, where can I buy a signed copy of your book? Hit him up on Twitter. I bet you could easily find it like that. Just hit him up on Twitter. He probably has a thing where you can go through it, but he has a very active it's at Ellis Greg. So his name is backwards, but follow him on Twitter too. By the way, good God. So yesterday, talking about growth on platforms, my social media account on Twitter went from like 40,000 subscribers, I think, to 55. It just shows like, holy crap. Wild Child, thanks for the 10. If it's proven that someone lies in court, criminal or civil, they should have repercussions. Yes, jail time as it is now. People are getting away with it, and it won't stop. Love your honest reports, Doug. Thank you. And yeah, that's very true. You are right. It's criminal. It very well is criminal. Dr. Frost, thanks for the 10. Good on you, Tug. New mate. All the best from Australia. Well, good day, mate. I can't do a freaking Australia. Terrible at that. That's horrible. I need to not. Mental note, never do that again. Oh my God. Give me 1 second. I'm making sure my voice things here. Let's see. Let's make a mental note right here. Never try an Australian accent. Oh, all right. Thank you for that. Oh my God. Let's see. Starkey, thanks for the 2. Is Greg aware of the work history of Aaron? Is it? I don't. I'm not sure. Apologies. With like I said, Greg was on limited time, so I didn't get to ask him all these. Carl Roy, thanks for 5. Hey, Greg, can you say what the excuse for your ex-wife was to say those allegations? Because of cheating. We'll go through his story. Actually, I went through it. So I did another interview with him. I have another channel. I used to get all my stuff flagged all the time, so I couldn't leave any of this stuff up. But I have another channel. It's called Tiny Tug. It's Tiny That Umbrella Guy. So it has the first interview with Greg Ellis on it. Check it out. And also, if you would, just play a bunch of other stuff on that channel. Just let it go in the background because that channel's not monetized yet, and it would help it out severely. Lori, thanks for the 3 and the rock on. Jeff K, thanks for the 2. If the Kleenex fits, we know who hits. Indeed. Marty McFly, thanks for the 5. $5 super chat, but I pledge 5. Is that million? Whoa, yeah. Same thing, right? Exactly. It's totally the same thing. Just for Johnny. Indeed. Christopher, thanks for the 10. Greg, thank you for speaking for men like us. I too have been destroyed by the quote unquote machine. It's not family court, it's women's retirement and retaliation court. It's broken. The family court is broken. Here for the truth. Thanks for the 5. AH is still abusing Johnny. Nightgown, Dr. Curry gave me. Yeah, the abuse will never stop. Like she's been given the ability to do this and to do it unflinchingly by people in the media, by people socially. Like she's been allowed to do some nasty stuff, and like I said, it will never ever stop. Man, I've been hit up by 5 media outlets. Let me make this very clear too. If you're a media outlet, and I will check that was just anti Johnny Depp or shut down this whole conversation for years, I have a certain finger that I will give you, and you can guess it which one it is. Just say, just think of the flock, the flock of birds, and think about that with a U. Flock. You. I don't have anything for the mainstream media. If, however, it's a small media or something, that's okay. But I would rather you ask this question. If you want to interview somebody, ask this, because I would like you to ask, why do domestic violence survivors stand with Johnny Depp? Why are they the ones standing up for him? There's your interview. That's your question. Ask them. Donna, thanks for the 10. As a life coach, I agree. Amber seems to have abandonment issues. It goes through catastrophe if someone leaves. If you think about her childhood, are you surprised if she strikes out? That assumes that she's telling the truth about her childhood too. That's another big one. We assume that. See, with her father, she talks about the abuse that her father heaped on. Is that true? Do we assume that she and her sister, they still maintained relationships with their father, like decently close relationships? And again, I'm not saying that you can't do that with an abuser, but I find it interesting, considering, it's very convenient for them to throw around. If they've accused one person of falsely doing something, yeah, it's just hard for me to believe them. Trina, thanks for the 2. Tug and Greg, can we do this again? Yeah. Jade, thanks for the 7. If you provoke a monster in someone that you claim to be a monster, then you are a monster. Blue Kingdom, thanks for the 2. Mr. Ellis, can I please get a signature from you? Again, hit him up on Twitter, Ellis at Ellis Greg. He's pretty good about responding. The Driving Ape, thanks for the 5. She had to conspire with multiple people in order to demonstrate JD had created a cabal to provide proof of his quote unquote cover up. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to look at how that comes together, isn't it? So Bear, thanks for the 10. Craig Charles, UK actor, was found not guilty of SA and 4 other charges of IA. He spent nearly 4 months in jail before proving he was innocent. Accusers walk away without punishment. Yeah, one of the worst cases I've ever seen. So there's a case. There was a lady she was a barrister. She had an affair. I can't remember her name. Like God, I'll have to look her name up again. I did a video on her, but she had an affair with this guy. She didn't realize she was in an affair, actually. You know, she was having a sexual relationship. Turns out the guy's married. She decides to get revenge. Well, which, okay, so far, like being mad about it and stuff, I could understand. Though she starts faking violent threats towards her. She starts sending herself emails and whatnot, and the man gets jailed. Okay. Um, They're in the investigation. They find out those emails wasn't legit. She gets in trouble. She's brought in. So what does she do right away? She screams rape. Guess what happens? He goes back to jail again. He ends up getting out because of some mess up or issue in her story. So she's going to get in trouble, and she understands it. So what she does is she fakes a kidnapping. She actually has one of her co-conspirators. One of the co-conspirators was a then boyfriend, whom she talks into saying that she actually wants him to go on record and say that she was hired by the ex that she was pointing the finger at, but she has him stab her in the leg. Guess what? He goes to jail again. So anyway, she goes to jail, and she's tried finally. She gets discretionary life, which means she can actually get out in a year or so, right? Or whatever they decide. The judge I'm sorry, the appeals court finds that that's too harsh of a sentence and redefines her sentence as 10 years. So for faking crimes that would have very easily destroyed someone's life and sent them away forever, she got 10 years where she'll probably get out in 2 or 3. It's just crazy. It's crazy stuff. Heisenberg. Kendall, thank you again for the 2. 25K watching. Amazing, Tug and Greg. Yeah, we had 27 at our highest point. That was good. Wild Child. That was a big stream for me. Like all this, I'm not used to all of that. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for the 5. She admitted on the stand the op-ed wasn't just about Johnny. Exactly. I hope that JD's team can use that in closing arguments. Yeah, they can, for sure. Still thanks for the 5. Sent you a DM on Twitter. Photo analysis busted. The muralize. Yeah, I've actually got I've got a good breakdown of the muralize anyway. You know, a very good one with there's a guy who goes by Andy again. I've brought him up quite a few times. Like he's brought up so many issues that are amazing. Laura, thanks for the 20. Heard last night the Depp's team has to prove intentional malice. What pointing out Heard's leak to TMZ helped establish this. Actually, yeah, it's called actual malice is what it's called. And that is a legal term. You know, when you're talking about it, let me define this for you. Okay. So I'm going to define it. I'm going to pull it up just to define it for you. Just give me 1 second. Actual malice, quote. It is when is defined as with knowledge that whatever you said was false, or with reckless disregard of whether it was false or not. So if she's lying and they find she's lying, that is actual malice. She intentionally tried to destroy his life. And she very much did. If they find that, then that's actual malice. Jane B, thanks for the 3 and the sticker. Appreciate it. Heidi, thanks for the 5 and the sticker as well. Like that one. That's cute. Christina, also, thank you for the super chat and the sticker. Appreciate that. TJ, thanks for the 5. No statement, but plenty of statement and backing. Thank you for your backing. All right, thanks for the 10 there. Regardless of the verdict, JD has won. Yes. Really great to see, having followed Tug and others highlighting the truth since a UK trial at travesty. Thank you for your word, Tug and Greg. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Eugene Knight, thanks for the 2. Court TV just confirmed Hal will be a witness. Awesome. Also, don't watch Court TV. I'm not saying you do, Eugene. I think you come over and watch our show, but I'm just telling people don't watch Court TV. Remember, Court TV, like just to throw this out again, that's not pointed at Eugene, just saying this for anybody. Remember, Court TV took that 2 minutes slamming cabinet video and they turned it into a rant about how Johnny Depp was guilty, included 6 seconds of that footage, hyper zoomed it in on the middle. And when he picks up the camera and he carries it, it made it look like he was assaulting her, and they did it on purpose. Cyborg Valkyrie, thanks for the 5. It is important to remember 90% of female abusers threaten to falsely accuse the male victim. The ultimate middle finger to men. Yes, and people just listen and believe. By the way, check out Red Valkyrie, their YouTube channel. I like they've done so much. They have always been like down with myself, my family, everything. So Red Valkyrie, they cover comic books, good live streams there. Like I said, check out their channel. I love both of them. Shay, Cyborg, good people. I like them both quite a bit. So E thanks for the 2. Thank you for standing for our sons. They matter. Hey, I'm also standing for my daughters, you know. Standing for them because if something happens to my daughters, God forbid, and I'm not alive to kill the person that does it. And you very well will know. Like you have to have a free tug from jail fund because but yeah, I want justice. The Duchess of Dutchness, thanks for the 2. Greg, can you read me to sleep? Love your voice. God, I love his voice. I love listening to him speak. I do. Jackie, thanks for the 5. Thank you, Mr. Ellis, for all you do as well and your wonderful stories. Lolo M, thanks for the 10. A lie can be spread around the word before the truth can even get to put on its shoes. That is a very good statement. It's very true. I like that statement. It's horrible it's come to this, but I'm so glad JD has put the spotlight on the fact that DV can happen to men too. Yes, indeed. Stephanie, thanks for the 5. Keep up the great discussion around bringing attention needed to hashtag men too. Thank you. Hey, thank you. Busha busha. Thanks for the 2. Tug, you did great work. Thanks. Great speaking voice too. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. I still the way that I articulate, like you can hear the gaps when I think about what I'm saying. I don't have like I like listening to Greg. He just like someone like him, you know, they articulate, they hit a specific flow with their voices. I love that sound. Tabitha, thanks for the 10. Thanks, Greg, for coming to Tug's channel and talking about the trial. I appreciate your opinion and appreciate you so much. Greg, you're wonderful. Tug, you're awesome. Hey, thank you. And Greg's good people. DL, thanks for the 5. Thank you, Greg, for the knowledge in DM, justice for truth, justice for all victims, justice for Johnny. Tabitha, thanks for the 5. Thank you, Greg. Lynn from the Lake, thanks for the 10. As an abused woman, we had to work in public with strangulation. We had to work in public with strangulation marks, black eyes, etc. Amber Heard disgust me. I left, met hubby. My hubby could very easily been abused men. It happens to all. That's very true. It can happen to anyone. That's what, you know, the point that needs to be sent with this. We're not talking about like taking up for men or women. We're talking about taking up for everyone. That is a very powerful message that has to be it has to be sent. Gloria Lewis, thanks for the 2. We could do a Depp Ellis joint conversation. That'd be great, you know. Vincent, thanks for the 5. This is a great live. My wife was a survivor of DV, and Amber had done nothing but create damage towards actual victims. It's disgusting, indeed. Yellow Flash too. His poop emoji. Like I said, you need to follow Yellow Flash there. Seriously, like if you like what I do here, you like what I've covered. The main person that helped point me at this, and he does videos on this subject. He gets flack from YouTube. It's terrible the way it's treated, but Yellow Flash, he's done great work in this. Again, there are a lot of YouTubers that cover this stuff too. I want to give them, you know, shout outs. I appreciate so many people, but like I said, Yellow Flash. I'll be on there Saturday night. I go in there for Flashcast. If you get easily offended, that ain't the show for you, just to say. But if you want to have fun, if you believe in free speech, let people say what they want. You'll have people on there. They'll say God knows what, but it'll be a good show. Yeah, thanks for the 5. Thank you, Tug, for allowing all of this the whole time. It has shown a lot of us that we are not alone. You're not. You're not alone at all. Eugene, there's the court TV again for the Hal. It's good. I figured she would do a rebuttal. That's what I said before, you know. Actually, I'd already heard that, so, you know. Tina Lewis, thanks for the 10. Ellen Barkett eventually testified that JD had tossed the bottle and it was towards her and surrounded by a group that was Browning. Yep. Ellen Barkin didn't really, her story didn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he tossed a bottle. Wow. She's also been connected to every high profile Me Too. Uh, Again, look her up for other accusations. It's crazy. Sharon, thanks for the buck super sticker. Appreciate that. Chicky C, thanks for the two. I hope you go live with LawTube again next week. I may talk to a couple of people. I won't go live during the trial. Like maybe some of them, I might let one come over here, talk to them, maybe, depending on who it is. I like to just talk to you guys. I just the way I look at it, I don't like to go in and try to cover something with a panel as much as I like to see what you guys have to say about stuff. So I like to read your stuff there. Summer Flowers too. Thanks for two. Can they call you to testify? I guess they could call anybody. Not now though. Not well. I guess they could. Like for Greg. If that was shot for Greg, I could have used him as a character witness if they needed it. If that's a discussion for me, I mean, like for talking to Adam Waldman. I mean, there's not. What are they going to get out of that? I talked to him on the phone. What did we talk about? I don't remember exactly. How did you all meet up? I don't remember exactly. What did you eat this morning? I don't remember exactly. Do you like Amber Heard? Well, that depends. Did she back Hunt the Littlest Umbrella, which is available on Indiegogo, which is my comic book? Again, I don't think they would do that. But if they wanted to, that'd be their prerogative. I did like the tug shout out. I did think that was funny though. Like people called it the tug shout out. If you missed that, somebody said they like a couple of people said they didn't know what I was talking about. I'll drop a video on that soon about the Adam Waldman thing, but this is what I'm discussing. Like if you for some reason did not hear about that, this is the clip from it. Somebody clipped it and put it up on their channel, and Ricada Law put it up too. But here's the feed from mine.
With other social media users about this case, other than public messaging platforms. Let me ask that differently. Have you communicated privately with other social media users about this case?
Have you talked to anybody at any time ever?
Other social media, I want to make sure I'm precise. Other social media users?
Yes, Twitter banned him. I'll discuss it in a minute.
That group would include almost everybody on Earth.
Have you provided information about this case to other social media personalities who then post that information?
I've provided information episodically to what I would call internet journalists, and I'll define that as journalists who are not affiliated with, you mentioned, I think NBC a moment ago, or a mainstream media outlet.
Have you communicated with a social media user who goes by the name ThatUmbrellaGuy?
Oh my God, they named me.
I've had several phone calls.
That was my live comment about it.
Person who goes by the name ThatUmbrellaGuy.
Hello world.
Other than through phone calls.
Oh my God. Yeah, so they also, I mean, Incredibly Average was also named in there. Again, I try not to, one of the reasons I don't mention them as much is not because, just me in there. It's because maybe they don't want to be mentioned. Maybe the other two people didn't want to. But for me, dude, this is my channel. And hey, it gives me more clout. And it also, I think it really highlights the idea. Like, again, you have YouTubers out there that just make shit up all the time. They just fake it all the time. Like I've told you, I know sources. And I'm not just saying like Waldman. He's the one person I've talked to. But when I say I have sources that can confirm that Johnny Depp has never been, Disney never talked to him. He's not back with pirates. Those are all lies. That gives them some validity to it, and other things. And I think that helps out independent journalists, period. So I appreciate Mr. Waldman doing that, because I myself, I will not give up a source. Like I won't give any of you up. If they took me to court about it and they were to ask me about it, well, I don't know. I don't recall. I can't remember any of my sources for real. They just blanking. I can't remember anybody. It's terrible. I don't remember the specifics of what they said. They said everything and nothing. But no, I'm glad that somebody, that was the best advertisement you could have there, and it advertised for independent journalists. So I appreciated Mr. Waldman. I appreciated Amber Heard's team asking, because Mr. Waldman tells the truth. See, that's the thing. Adam Waldman, he didn't flinch on it. He actually thought, he was trying to remember if we had communications in different ways or not. By the way, somebody asked if he had, about his banning from Twitter. I put up the emails that he got from Twitter. I got them from a source, I will say, okay? But I did get permission from Adam Waldman to use them. That's the way I'll say. Because again, like he said, we talked on the phone, right? That was our way of discussing. But I ended up with the emails that he had between Twitter and himself. And the ugly in that was twofold. Number one, they banned him for nothing. They banned him because he was talking about the case. They just mass flagged him off the platform. Number two, they took at Johnny Depp. At Johnny Depp is supposed to be set aside for Johnny Depp. They made Adam Waldman write him over and over and over and over and over again to ask for it. And they said they would set aside at Johnny Depp. Go look it up. Go look up at Johnny Depp. It shows a suspended account. Why? Because that gives you a certain opinion. I bet you they'll fix it after the trials and stuff are over. Oh, sorry, that was our oversight. But during the trial, it makes it look like Johnny Depp did something wrong. They did intentionally. Radar CP, thanks for the 20. Depo of AH talent agent. She went on to explain how AH's film offers and earned money would be effective, really impact AH's career negatively. Hello. Right there. Hear yourself prove Johnny Depp's case due to allegations. Yeah, she said, who wants to hire someone that has the abuse stigma over them? Exactly. IMC, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership and welcome to the Tuggernauts. Thank you. Naomi, thanks for the 2. So we become verified now that you're famous? Probably not. I did get a cool banner on Twitter, though. I thought, it did give me a cool banner to put up. I don't know if you've noticed that. I put the Umbrella God banner up. Oh, it was funny. Like I said, I don't know. They keep calling me like a massive troll online. Look, see, media user, that Umbrella God. So that's who I am. I'm that Umbrella God. God, 56,000 people. Jesus. It's weird. But again, there are plenty of people, there are plenty of people that have good sources. They talk to folks. I'm glad for the sake of, who has good sources too? Yellow Flash. Yellow Flash got plenty of them. When he's talking about stuff out there, like a lot of stuff, sometimes your sources they'll hear something and they'll tell you a piece of what they think is going on or something. They may get a little bit wrong, but most of the time, like they're on, and he does a good job with sources all over stuff. Like I said, props to him as well. Charles Fowler, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership too. Welcome to Tugs. Tug got 10K subs in one day. Yeah, actually, my YouTube right now, it jumped to 242,000 subscribers, and it keeps rolling. I think it'll go past that. And like I said, I hope people enjoy what we do and continue to enjoy what we do. Bunny of Death, thank you for that sticker. Appreciate that. Robin, thanks for the 20. Tug, what version of Logical Song do you play at the beginning? It's just some vaporwave. So I don't even know. It's just a vaporwave version of things that are just it's vaporwave. So I can't even tell you. Zachary, thanks for the 5. Hey, Tug, would it be possible to bring Adam Waldman on for something like today, talking about these issues? I don't know. I don't. He's under litigation. You've got to remember that. So Adam Waldman is also Johnny Depp's attorney, so he can't talk about this stuff to us really. Not without not without a bunch of stuff happening. Maybe one day he can talk about it freely and openly, but right now he like you said, he's Johnny Depp's attorney. He still represents Johnny Depp, and as Johnny Depp's attorney, you saw how many times he had to say I can't because of attorney-client privilege. Like, I'd like to, honestly, I would love if someone like Depp would do an interview there, I mean, I again get a few snippets from that just to ask him, hey man, how you doing? That'd be great. Not rely on the mainstream media for that stuff, Emma Rain, thanks for the 8. Not me too or men too, but justice for truth. MSM needs to be held accountable for pushing their narrative onto the public. Truth over innuendo and lies. Indeed. Philabude, thanks for 2. Venmo is a payment service. Oh, Vimo is YouTube alt. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, I use alt technology somewhat, but here's the thing. Like, people talk about alt platforms all the time, but okay, I have an Odyssey account that my stuff uploads to. You know how many hits my Odyssey, my videos on Odyssey get? Like 60 or 70. So people have to watch them there too. I mean, they're there though, but I don't use every platform because I just can't upload to every single thing, but I thank you for explaining, when people are asking about that. Lord, thanks for the 10. Congrats, Tug. I feel like all the hard work you're doing on this topic is slowly but surely making a difference for the better. Thank you and your family for the dedication and sacrifice on this topic. Thank you. Jacob, thanks for the 5. You should check out CNN app. They did a story on the case, and the title had me shaking my head. Oh, God, I can't even think. Shannon, thanks for the 5 there. Hi, from Southern Middle Tennessee. Thank you for the great commentary and coverage. Hey, back at you from, wherever Warren County is on that map. But you know where we are, too. Props to you. Jordan, thanks for the 10. Tug, been a fan of yours since... and watching your channel grow has been great. Your info, JD, and certain Aquaman Starlight have been top notch. Thank you, Jordan, and thank you for your continued support. Thank you. Thanks for the 5. Just wanted to mention I'm not seeing any of your tweets in your Twitter feed, even set to the newest stuff. Definitely shadow banning. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. Douglas, thanks for the 20 there. Great interview. Keep up the fight. Thank you. By the way, thanks for the 10. We're all on the tugboat. Tugboat. Good morning show. God bless. Yeah, usually I don't do a morning show. I had to do it for Greg Ellis. He's in a different time zone, and I really wanted to talk to him. Like, I'm going to put this out there. So when my daughter was having health problems, Greg Ellis and I were going to do a live stream, and I forgot because I got caught up with everything else, and I blew him off. I just totally blew him off after telling him I would have him on, and he didn't take it personally at all. Some people do. Some people be like, "Oh my God, how dare you?" But we didn't. Like, I like Greg. Like, again, he doesn't personalize stuff or anything like that. Again, some people do. Dawn, thanks for the 10 there. Meltman Attorney said, the umbrella man. I think that's what people will be looking for when they're trying to find you. Umbrella man, really? People looking up umbrella man? Let's look it up. Umbrella man. Umbrella man. Yeah. I got mentioned in Deadline. Saw that, which I thought was funny. So Deadline actually put in some. Actually, I've got a video ready on that, but I haven't. But yeah, Deadline. If you look up That Umbrella Guy, like space the name and put Depp, it'll come up. So it's funny. I'll probably talk about that later. Tamers, hey, thank you for the 200. Wow, thank you, Tamers. Question: just wanted to ask, when you're talking to these important or celebrities, how do you get over the possible nervousness or anxiety of doing this? Do you get those feelings? I know you said they're just people, but I get anxious talking to normal people sometimes. I used to get a little anxious sometimes doing interviews, with folks, but that's more me. You got to remember anxiousness is part of like you, and you see that. You got to remember like you're as important or valuable as anyone else. Now, some I talked to a few very high profile, I mean, like very high profile celebrities with some stuff here, like very like big ones. And first of all, I couldn't believe that I could make contact with them. I actually, when all of that was happening, I was surprised because, like I said, I thought that might not actually be even real, because of some of the names again, like high profile people, and yeah, when it happened, it points out the fact that what we're doing here is noticed. Like you have when I speak out, I try to be careful. I like call out bad behavior from celebrities. Like they're rude, nasty. I'll mention it. I'll talk about it. I'll talk about how ridiculous it is. I don't want them to lose jobs or anything. I think there should be some policing of their mentalities. Like again, they need to understand customer service and just like the greeter at Walmart. They're the same person there. You're selling products. Act like you're selling a product, but at the same time, you know, um, we cover important things too. So I think we're better, like probably friendlier in some ways than the media. I'm not friendly to companies. I'm a mean critic of certain things, but to individuals, I'm I think I'm fair. And I think, the people, they take that. But for nervousness, yeah, when I first started out, I got nervous about all kinds of stuff. I started the first people I talked to, like what's funny is the celebrities that would matter to me. I talked to like comic artists and stuff, people that that would impact, like I was like, oh, like that's how I started out. And that made me nervous sometimes because I would be like, you know, these people created some of the things that shaped my childhood. But then after I did that, there were people that would talk about what happened in the comic industry, and I started reaching out, trying to find people in the companies there, and I would make contact with them in that side, and then I made contact into the entertainment side of many of these, and that would include like directors or producers, like get some of those in there, and stars, finally. Like I said, it's going good when you do that. But it's a statement, I think, more on the mainstream too, because they don't trust the mainstream. It's strange when huge people out there thank you for talking about something that they're afraid of. There are a few people that are afraid, like big names, about what happened with Johnny Depp. They're afraid behind the scenes of it. Like they fear this happening to them too. And again, all it takes, like all people do, but them, like imagine, like in a lot of jobs, you don't have the contact that like a celebrity does. Like with starlets. So a starlet, I can't remember the director that just got nailed because he put his hand on the leg of a actress that he was going to do a sex scene with. There was some discussion or back and forth, and he ended up putting his hand on her leg before the scene, while they were talking or whatever, and that ended up getting him Me Too'd. But this stuff's insane. Like this wouldn't happen in a regular job because you wouldn't have that kind of proximity. In Hollywood, though, you've had a pendulum shift. There are many, like Greg said, there are many Amber Heards out there, but there are also many Harvey Weinsteins out there. You do have abusers. Let's not pretend that that's not the case too. They do need to be taken out, but they need to be taken out into the into the legal sphere. Carrie Spicer, thanks for the 5. I've been abused, but men have been abused too, and it shouldn't be about sex. Men need to be supportive. We need to be supportive, and we women need to take a stand for men too. Yeah, it's a fine line. See, here's the problem with accusations. Okay, first, if you're asking for support, that was what Me Too was supposed to be. A Me Too was a happened to me too. That was the whole point in it. Hashtag Me Too is it happened to me too. Okay, it's a call for support, empathy. You should have that. You should have it like that shouldn't even be a question. Like we shouldn't even have to have a discussion about whether or not you deserve support there. The problem becomes the claims that attach to that, the ugliness, the destruction of somebody. Once it becomes these people over here, they did this to me. Well, that's when you have a problem. That's when you have something that you need to address. And I don't know the happy medium because I went when you make an accusation, like when somebody does, it automatically makes a person guilty. Automatically. And they've got to disprove that they were guilty. And just that automatic weight of that accusation. It's crazy when you think about it. Fuel Me Once, thanks for the 5. Thank you very much for your content. I provided rationale for what AH's side is trying to set up their closing arguments yesterday. Assume at Fuel Me Once. So people check out at Fuel Me Once. Look at their statements online about the rationale. I'll check your statements out about that and see what's there. Gamer John T, thanks for the 2. Tug Stevie J, yeah, I like Stevie J Raw. Stevie J Raw runs a good channel, but he's trying to build a first men's shelter in in AU. That'd be great. I remember him talking about that way back when. But Stevie J Raw, yeah, maybe. Okay, I want to talk to the YouTubers on some of this too. Maybe get them a little bit of notice in this. Like I'd like Come Geek Some. I like that guy. He's been around since the Vic Mignogna days where I've covered stuff, and I feel like he needs love. Man, we're like 8,000 subscribers short, or 7,500 subscribers short of 250,000 subscribers. That's crazy. It's crazy. I never thought we'd get that big. Thank you. KIU, thanks for the super chat. My mom and sister were both victims of DV. My mom suicided when she was 30. That's horrible. They didn't look like AH after being beaten. Thank you for all you've done for JD. That's terrible. Like I said, that's absolutely terrible. No one deserves to be treated like that. No one does. Like hopefully, again, we need to learn the lesson of somehow getting justice and support for people who need it, and at the same time not ruining other people's lives because the judicial system's a mess. Karen, thanks for the 20. My son driving under threat of losing children by vile things put on Facebook about him, driving to get her to take it down. A truck stopped my son from accomplishing that. He died quickly. Some women are just evil. That's horrible, Karen. It's horrible. It's sad that happens to so many people. I'm sorry to hear about that, Karen. I hope you got support in your life. Terrence, thanks for the 5 there. It was just confirmed on Court TV that Jennifer Al is testifying next week. Is this true? I heard that she would do a rebuttal. That's what I've said before. I heard from quote unquote sources that she was going to do rebuttal. So, Jason, thanks for the 5. Noob. Savage Cook, thanks for the 5. Thanks for the super sticker too. Appreciate that. Magnus, thanks for 5. Elon Musk just got sexual accusations against him from ex-flight attendant. Yep. Interesting how that works. He has another lawsuit against him too. But again, he is innocent until proven guilty too. Even though I I'll cover his. I will definitely cover them. Maybe we'll talk about them. Robin, thanks for the 20. The trial has brought the salty army. Hey, what's up? The salty army out there too. Salty cracker. Huh? Yes, that guy. I like again. I know some people don't like political stuff. Hey, I don't. I hate politics. I love the mock politicians. So I like that we have people that mock politicians. But I love his wit. Like I don't know. I love his wit. Like I think he's a funny person. He does very well. But it's brought UmbrellaGuy and LawTube together. Nothing can stop us now. We just got to keep uniting and moving forward with each other's sake. Yep, indeed. Wing Paragon, thanks, 5. My internet went down, but great to see Greg on. Went and subbed. As inequality towards men, just ignored is simply wrong. Indeed. Wrathchild, thanks for the super chat. Greg was a sweetheart. I immediately subbed to his channel. Loved the interview. And you let your guest speak. Yeah, but he's there to speak. That I like to. One of the reasons too I don't have guests on that much is because I talk a lot. I like to talk, so I like to talk. All right, let's see. Gloria, thanks for the 10. I'm a survivor of SA. Karma took care of it. Brothers, one died of disease, the other shanked in prison. Totally believe in karma, huh? Karma does, but still, I hope you got help moving forward too. I hope you're doing okay too. Yes, I believe karma. People like Amber Heard, for example, just to say her, right? She's gonna get karma because she destroyed herself. Like she did this. So, Colin M, thanks for the 10. I'm sorry, Colin M, thanks for the 10. I say Colin for some. My own story actually benefited from the way things are. When I was thrown down a flight of stairs, the state charged my abuser and his family all pressured me daily to drop charges. That happens quite a bit, the pressure there. Like I said, there's it's so strange how there's problems in the system. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't badly. Tanya, thanks for the 5. 2 quick questions. Do you know if the trial is continuing today? No. What exactly are you referring to in your title? What do you mean, exposing all? Like just talking about everything from the court system to everything, Is that what you mean? That's exposing all, It's not just when you expose, you don't just have like he can talk with firsthand testimony about what Johnny Depp is like behind the scenes, right? But beyond that, it's not somebody like Greg Ellis. He is powerful in the way that he understands firsthand how the court system, how the family court dynamic works. He is the type of person that needs to shine a spotlight on that and watch the people who represent that system, scurry away like roaches. Joker Alice, thanks for the 5. Thank you for constantly describing the visual elements when you cover stuff. Despite being blind, I don't feel lost when watching you. Thank you. I appreciate comments like that quite a bit, Joker Alice, because I try to learn how like there are a lot of needs out there that just like, okay, to give you an example, for trials, I didn't think about it first. Closed captioning, it's silly, like a little thing like that, how much of an impact that could have. But you know what? I learned because people asked. For you, I actually had another person that was they were partially blind, and when we go through and talk about like video topics and stuff, they ask for more description. So I try like for the police video, instead of just letting it play, with silence or whatever, I try to talk through it, give you direction. And that's because of someone else. But I appreciate people who make comments like that because it helps me become better at what I do. Little Rose, thanks for the 10. And the super sticker, thank you. Heisenberg Kennels, thank you for the 449. Now you're part of the court public record. I bet the jury can look you up online and inadvertently get the truth. Yep, that's true. Good times indeed. Fun times even, right? Fun times indeed. We have the spinning winds. Thanks for the 5. I think the BPD stigma has to stop as well. Men and women have it, and many go to therapy and make their and other lives better. Not all are psychos. Any diagnosis, period. The problem is that any diagnosis can be spun anyway. A diagnostic is just a type of categorization. In therapy, and I speak as this at a mental health provider, in therapy, individuals are, it's all about individual care. Individuals are the only rule. You have to talk about it as individuated care. But as far as a diagnosis itself, it isn't, the description of what that means is not a good thing. It's something that needs to be worked on, because I mean, if you look at the terror of abandonment, and then you look at the high functioning response, the high level of relationship manipulation, that there are warning signs all over the diagnosis, but that doesn't speak to the individual. If you're in therapy and you went there voluntarily for therapy, that means you acknowledge there's something. You've already beaten what is part of that. Again, you should never shove someone in that box there. It's just, you have to be aware. That's the problem with discussions like this, period, when we bring up diagnosis, because that's funny. You are in this article. That's funny. People are sending me different video articles. Oh yeah, Pop Topic. They were like, Pop Topic put you in one of their videos. That's fine. Pop Topic has done a good job of going through and doing things. They've been they covered a lot of things that just I was shocked by. You never check them out. Pop Topic. They're one of the places. Again, they've covered some rumors that sources have brought up that I thought were fascinating. Again, you take them how you will, but I think they've tried to do a good job. Marisol, thanks for the 4 there, and the coffee. I could use that. Diane, thanks for the 5. Thank you for what you do. The YouTube channel Popcorn Planet has referred you a ton of love of what you do too. That's how I found you. Cheers. Yeah, I like Andy. You know why I like Andy? I've said this before. Besides Andy trying to help out, like when something like comes up, Andy's been through this. He knows the reality of it. If you've listened to his story, like that guy he's been through the ringer. He was so successful on YouTube at one time. He helped build a brand with other people, and they screwed him over. I found the profanity wanted to leak out. They screwed him over big time because he was accused, and that was it. It gave people license to turn their back on him, and that's horrible. Like again, if one of my friends is accused of something, I'm going to make sure that I find out first that it's real. I'm not going to let people just burn their lives down like willy-nilly, like pretending that that's the end all be all. If we're friends, then if I misjudged you that much, then that's on me. That's on me at the end of the day, and I need to go back in and gain insight. But typically, like I don't have a lot of friends. I don't keep a lot of friends. I know a lot of people, but I don't keep a lot of friends. And if you're my friend, I will ride and die with you. I mean, that's the way it is. So to see people the way they turned on Andy just disgusted me anyway, because it turned out that he was not. It was all false, which they should have looked at it that way. They should have looked at it and researched it anyway. It's a conspiracy. Thanks for the 10, but thank you. And I like Popcorn Planet quite a bit. I found it interesting when AH's acting coach Said that AH has a problem trying to cry while acting. I know. Yeah, that was such an indictment of her on the stand, wasn't it? Pratt J, thanks for the super chat. Thanks, Tug, for showing we all men are not all monsters. That's how they portrayed in 2016. It was hard to even approach a woman. Now, and even if you smile, I MGTOW, I guess, not sure, but wish this. See, I understand why people end up going MGTOW, but I don't believe that. Like, I'm happily married, man. I got 2 little girls. My mom was very strong, very. I've been fortunate to be raised around strong, independent women, and it sculpted my way of thinking to the point that I can never blame everyone because it would be an indictment of the people that I love there, and that's not who they are. That's not how they represent. So I can understand why the fear of relationships. You just really got to know somebody, and yeah, you got to take precaution. It's crazy. It is crazy. Take a breath. You be careful out there, but make sure when you're getting over fears, like again, you get to know people first. You get to know them in public settings and stuff too. Know who they are. Gabriel, thanks for that. 9, I'm called an istophobe a lot, speaking against listen and believe. I tell him actually I'm a trans man, so I lived as a female 36 years. They never know what to do with that. I'm supposed to be on their side. Exactly. They're allies until. Well, you're worth defending, and you're an ally until you say something to a lot of these folks that not until your identity becomes no bludgeon for them. Again, like for myself, I firmly believe you do whatever makes you happy in life. Again, there are things that crush people out there. So if you find happiness, you find a little bit in a relationship, I don't care who you're loving. I don't care if it's a man, a woman. If you want to identify a certain way, you want to live your life a certain way, that's on you. That's you. I'm happy that you found happiness. And the problem is that people have weaponized that identity and they want to use it for their own thing. They want to use your identity for their happiness. And that's gross. You are about you. Thank you, though, Gabriel. I see you all the time here. Appreciate you. Yeah, Jones, thanks for the 50 there. The most important live I've ever done. Thank you, Mr. Ellis, for bringing this to light today. He's a great person to have on there for sure. Burnt Umbrage, thanks for the 10. Congrats, Tug, on having your YouTube name read into the record. Congrats, honestly, on the vindication that comes of that. All of your reporting on this time has been from legitimate sourcing. Yeah, well, that doesn't bring up the dozens of other sources that have there too. Like I said, I liked that Adam Waldman was the one who put that out there because again, it gives me something I can say about something. And I point this at some people that try to police Johnny Depp support. There were people out there that would say things like, that Umbrella Guy, he does comic books, and that's taking advantage of Johnny. And it's like, what? I've been doing comic books forever. I do one every year or so, because that's what we do. I do them with my girls, and it's fun. But I thought it was fascinating because here I am, and I have connection where I would know if that was a problem, if people even remotely perceive that. And I have, like I said, I have more connection all around, and there's not even the remotest. But some people want to assume that's what, like, he doesn't care about insignificant shit like that. In fact, he would be the opposite. I have on good authority that he supports independence. You see it first of all in that, but yeah, ask him what he thinks. If you can ever hit him up, ask him what he thinks about my comment. First of all, I guarantee you he knows that we do that. I know it for a fact. I guarantee you that he knows that we make our own stuff. And I guarantee you he supports independent endeavors that are all out there. As an independent person, he believed in gonzo journalism. You think that man believes in the Hollywood establishment? Hell no. So I love that Adam Waldman, it violates that whole I know what's really going on thing. And I don't want to police any support either. I don't care if you're as long as you're not like doxing people or doing something horrible like life ruination to people. I don't care how you vote. I don't care, what you worship or don't worship. I don't care about your identity. Everyone's welcome here. I love you all. I love you on this channel. I'm telling you, like, I don't care what your identity is. If that's part of who you are, be proud of it. I love you for it. If you believe in whatever God, I don't care what God you believe in or lack thereof, you are welcome here. I don't care how you vote. You're all welcome here. Anyway, that's a rant for a minute, but hey, I'm Beavers Jr. Thanks for the 5. Hope you have him on again. Yeah, I hope so. Truly awesome having y'all speak together. I think we will. I mean, I don't see why. Y'all are thoughtful, kind. I wanted to cry just hearing his sincerity. Yes. I mean, you can tell, like, sometimes when he's speaking, it chokes him up. It chokes him up. Tristan, thanks for the 10. Tug, one simple note. Why? Why are they not going over this very obvious lie surrounding the JD boot slice? They did bring up the bed. They actually did bring up the bed and the knife. You have to only go over it so far, and you see the doubt, KIU, thanks for the super chat. Oh, you were mentioning I missed your super chat. I just went over that. So it just takes me a minute. I got to go through them all. I'm going straight up the line. We said I didn't see my first super. Both my mom and dad, or my mom and sister, mom and sister were DV victims and didn't look as sleek as Amber. My mom died at 30. Actual consequences of DV. Thanks for all you've done for JD. I mean, I'm glad people trust me with their stories of what happened. It's just it was horrible what happened in life, and hopefully we do change this stuff. Leah, thanks for the 5. Hi from Finland. Hey there, back to you. Have you thought about gathering a comic strip together and making a book of them? I at least want to buy one. I do have a comic book. We do have comic books, actually. Let me show you. We do indeed have a comic book. It's our third. It's in what we call in demand right now. That means we are working on it at this moment. Indiegogo is a platform where we create stuff, but yeah, we have a comic book actually. We make our own creations. This is what we do. This is my third comic book actually. Hunt the Littlest Umbrella. We are successful at what we do too. And this is a shot at the mainstream industry when we do it. We try to do it. We try to do it big, and we just get bigger. And again, I thank you for all of your support with that. But you can see like the level of art here. And if you're, this is S.K. Bennett's art. It's fabulous stuff. And if you're like, why is there an umbrella guy in this? Why is it? Because for you, when you read it, you get a detective, little sidekick solving paranormal horror type adventures. They're all ages friendly. That doesn't mean kids. It means everybody though. But when you're looking through that, for you, again, it's detective sidekick for my daughter when she sees it. The little umbrella girl, that's her avatar. So she was online. She sees it. She's a hero in this. So she also does her own art. Like this is one of the covers for the book. Like she has her artwork in the title. So look at that there. Like that's cool, I think. It's got it added on. I think that's awesome there. But we have the first 2 comic books attached to it. They're 44-page comics too. Normally a comic book is about, if you stripped away the advertisements, you get like 18 pages of comics. So we have over a double size comics that we make, But like I said, you can see the quality that this is S.K. Bennett's work. It's great. I love his work. But yeah, we make our own thing. If you haven't checked it out, again, that's Hunt the Littlest Umbrella. I'm gonna have to drop a link into the chat real quick. Give me 1 second here. I just accidentally hit the button and closed the chat. Sorry. I was doing that and I closed the damn chat. I was like, wait a minute. But yeah, that's our book. Again, the link, I'm gonna pin it to the top there. So yeah, check that out. And thank you for asking about our strips and stuff we do. Appreciate you. Give me a second. I got to roll down to where the comments are. Oh my gosh. Here we are. Got it. David, thanks for the 5. As a fellow Southerner, I appreciate hearing someone other than myself on YouTube who has some twang in his voice. Exactly. I was told when I started YouTube that I would fail because I have a Southern drawl. Like, people don't want to hear that. And it's like, I guess, nah, I didn't fail, did I? Shadowcat, thanks for the 5. By mentioning the 3 of you, they have only made you more powerful. That's true. They put more eyes on and it puts more eyes on, like you said, on the organized proof of his innocence. That's right. If people, they have time to look at it. Everybody can. Pam, thanks for the 2. Super sticker, appreciate that. Cheryl Lamb, thanks for the 2. No statement attached, but plenty of statement. Thank you. Cyborg Valkyrie, thanks for the 2. That's the highest pitch voice ever heard from you. I have trouble hitting high pitched voices. Like I just can't do it. My voice doesn't go high very easily. Flowers, thanks to the 10. Tug, thank you for being a huge part of bringing this issue to the surface. We need more independent journalists like you. Love from Sacramento, California. Love return. Appreciate you. And thanks for the 5. I like the fact that all of JD's prior partners all said the same thing. It was never abusive. None of them back or accusations. Exactly. Cat, thanks for 5. Can we bring Brandon Fraser into the conversation? No one believed him. His career was nearly destroyed. Another case of man not believed. Yeah, there's so many. If you look up your favorite celebrity. If they're male, I bet you'll find an accusation against many of them. Yes, thanks for the 5. Thank you. Independent journalism is incredibly important. Yes, indeed. And there needs to be some kind of standard to it, Desiree, thanks for the 5. Tug, wish I give you more money. Hey, thank you for being here, period. Appreciate you. Love you. You rock. I squealed when I heard Adam was watching Emily Baker. Oh, that's cool. Come over here. We watch it in the daytime. Come over here. We could have watched it real time. You could have been like, whoa. Cheryl Lamb, thanks for the 2. Journey through Johnny through his courage is changing the world. Here's funny. I was mentioning this yesterday. Some people have been trying to stir up drama, between myself and Emily Baker, which I don't know Emily well, but I get along with her. Like, I don't have any problem with her. But some people had been trying to make drama for her because people are bored all the time, I guess. But I was like, I don't even know her to have drama with her. Plus, I try to avoid internet drama. It's just so boring these days. So, but I like what she does. So I don't get people. Gal Pal Val, thanks for the 50 there. Thank you. Went through my own nasty divorce, helping a male friend right now navigate the same slippery slope and trying to support him through the abusive behavior as an ex. Heartbreaking. This case is resonating with him and waking him up. Yeah, a lot of times men need somebody to they need to see themselves reflected in some of this to understand that maybe it's abuse too. As a man, here's one of the biggest things. As a man, a lot of things that people would call abuse with a female, they don't call abuse for a man. And that's telling, my God, we're over 243,000 subscribers. We're still rolling today. It's nuts. Wendy, thanks for the 5 there. Loving your channel and coverage on JD, AH. Very entertaining. Thank you. Well, thanks for the 5. Anyone else love the fact that a turd was mentioned 3 times in court? I love it. I can't believe they brought that in themselves. Amber Turd. They brought that up themselves. Crazy. Jackie, thanks for the Sussex squad. Thanks for the deal. Keep up the good work, Tug. Yes, fun times. Fun times indeed. Indeed. The Wit, thanks for the 5. Thank you for all your hard work. Info Boss, just an FYI, you're making my wife jealous as she hears your soothing caramel voice from my office daily lately. That's funny, indeed. Too funny. Jackie for the Sussex squad. Thank you for the super sticker too. Penthouse 5, thanks for the 5. Did you see Jennifer Howe's Instagram story? Yeah, I did a video on that. It's my last video. It talks about intervention. There is an open FBI investigation into witness intimidation because witness is, notice the plural there, is, have been having things walk into their real lives. I can prove that Amber Heard's little friend that she follows, those little accounts that she follows that dox people and stuff, they were aiming at people in 2020. There were leaked pictures of them going after Stephen Deuters. Katrina, thanks for the super chat. Hey, this is weird. Became a member nearly a year ago, but somehow allowing me to send a free super. Is real on tongue or not? Any idea what might have happened? Because due to what came out yesterday, I'd expect anything. They'll give you a free super chat. Yeah, is a 3-month tug or not? That's weird. Did you upgrade 3 months ago? Maybe that changed it. I don't know. That is weird though. That is very weird. I don't know, but I thank you for your membership here. Appreciate all of you. Laura, thanks for the 5. I'm a tug. False accusation lead to a person having to prove a negative and impossible task. Go tug. Exactly. You can't do that. Cyborg Valkyrie, thanks for the 5. We have 21 subs to go for 1,500. Please check out Red Valkyrie. Yeah, check out Red Valkyrie. Again, for real. They have a good channel. They need 21 more subs. 21 stinking subs. Let me actually, I'm going to drop a link to them. Like I said, I like Red Valkyrie. Shay and Cyborg, they've been good, not just for I dealt with some crazy stuff over the time, and they have been very, very supportive. So I'm going to drop a link to their channel. It's right here. Go check it out. They need 21 subs just to get to that, or 15 more right now to get to that level. So 15 people. Subbing's free. Knock it out. Thank you. Ashley, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership too. Welcome to Tugs. If I miss a membership thing, I apologize. If they get past me, which they do when I'm reading, sometimes they don't show up in the little window sometimes until later. So if I miss your membership, that is not intentional. Twitter user, thanks for the 5. Awesome interview, a Tug. Greg Ellis is incredible. Hey, it's an amazing interview. I love him. TikTok Monster, thanks for the 5. Look what happened to Brendan Fraser. Exactly. Charlotte S, thanks for the 10. Veteran and woman that fought men twice my size, 120 pounds, managed to the middle strength to get 200 plus men out of the situation. So look at me. Who will you believe? A man? A BS. Exactly. Women are either capable or they're not, right? Uncle Brad, thanks for 20. Hey, Tug, have you heard that next Friday will be televised? Supposedly the case goes to jury at that time. We'll see. I'll probably live stream for a while that day, and we'll see what happens. Jay Crook, thanks for the 20. Is it possible to use your videos? I don't know. As exhibits, now that your name is record. They could use the tag. They could use the titles and stuff. They could do whatever they want if they wanted to bring it in. You can bring in anything. It's just what they would trying to do with them. Renee, thanks for the 10. No statement with that, but plenty of statement backing. Thank you. Lilith, thanks for the 3. And the super sticker, appreciate that. Sam, thanks for the 5. The graph the social media expert showed yesterday had spikes from the dates 2020, but the timeline along the bottom said February 2020. That's interesting. I need to go back through that. I need to look it over very well. I need to go pull that stuff up. Carrie, thanks for the 5. Super sticker, appreciate you there. Man, thanks for the 10. Greetings from Austria. Hey, greetings returned. Following you since Andy brought you up. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for being just frank and analytical. I try to straight up. Hey, what's up, Andy, man? Appreciate you. Thanks for the 10. Thanks, buddy, for the support. And congrats again on your work. Well-deserved, my man. Thank you. Like I said, I like Popcorn Planet. I like a lot of folks out there, but you know what? When somebody stands with you, there are a few people. I have been impressed and disappointed. I've been disappointed in people that I thought, channels that I thought were long-term friends or, would help you out when, you get hit or struck and they don't say a word. That's disappointing as hell. There's some big ones out there. I'm not going to call anybody out. I sometimes feel like I want to, but no, that's not the point of this. I am happy to see people that do stand with you. People like I said, Andy from Popcorn Planet. He did. Yellow Flash, Ricada Law. These folks stood with me when I needed it. People have tried to take my channel out from under me multiple times because I cover this subject. And they were like, hell no. We'll make noise. We'll help you out too. Greeny Benny, thanks for the 5. Just got here. Quick recap. Watch the Greg Ellis interview. You'll like it. It's good. Just listen to his interview. You know, that's I think you'll enjoy it. Tiffany, thanks for the 2. Thanks for all you do. Can you give me a date with JD? Yeah, I'll get right on that. Renee, thanks for the 10. Thank you for your support. Excellent broadcast. I'm a male survivor of DV. It gave me great support. What you're doing. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that, like I said, a lot of people, when I get tired and I'm like, I'm quitting this, I'm not doing this anymore, you know, because of all these nut jobs. People like yourselves, and it kept me going. So thank you. Reese, thanks for the 5 and the super sticker. Appreciate that. Men, thanks for the 7. Truth be told, I've seen many people live out their lives having dispositions, but won't accept pity from anyone. Turd shouldn't be excused. No, never. It's not about labeling. Is not about, you know, when you talk about, like, she doesn't want help either. When we talk about her maybe having a mental health issue or whatever, that doesn't excuse her behavior. She's never sought help ever. So she doesn't deserve your pity. Nikki, thanks for the 10. Thank you for all your dedicated support, Tug. All those long hours, bless you. Thank you there. Thanks to Miss Umbrella, this indeed, for his support. Doing all this. I feel bad for Greg. So tragic. Yeah, it's terrible. But you know what? It woke him up, and he came with a real story, you know? Northern Viking, thanks for that. Emma Baker said she may ask you on our channel after the dust stuff is over of your content for Finland. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I just, like I said too, like, some people think when I don't go on channels that much, again, that there's some kind of issue. I go on like if I'm in the mood, but I hate panels and I like to talk. So if I have somebody, you know, like you saw with Greg, some people, I want like a one-on-one panel is good, like that or whatever, but it just depends. It just depends. But yeah, it'll be cool to look at. Reality check. Thanks for the 2. Do you think Manson's assistant will be called for rebuttal? No, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know, actually. I haven't heard anything about it, but I did think the video was interesting. Naomi, thanks for the 2. Terry Crews. Yes, Terry Crews. The Terry Crews thing, again, you know, men, that when they flush men out of Me Too, that really pissed me off because of that. Kaloop, thanks for the 5. Video floating around TikTok of AH testimony. Bruised temple. She messed up and said, I punched my head. Yeah. I was punching my head. Yep. Phoenix, thanks for the 5. I saw highlights of Jason cross-examination. To quote the drunken lawyer, how embarrassing. Yeah. Oh, you mean the Jason Momoa? Are you talking about that video with him? Oh, Lord. That's so goofy. Wild Child, thanks for the 2. Been Din's short. AH pops a pill in court. Out been Din's short. Well, I saw her. Did you see her do that weird thing with her face where she looked like she was scratching herself yesterday? Wing Paragon, thanks for the 2. Greg has gained about 1,000 subs since your stream. He should have gained. I think he's gained more than that, actually. Because he was at 9.4 or something, I think, when we started. You know? Oh, you're talking about after the stream? Because I think he was at 9.4 before that. When I look. Let me check real quick. Let's see. Again, check out the respondent if you haven't checked him out. No, he's gained about almost 3,000 subs. So that's great. I'm happy, but I hope he gains a lot more because he's good. He's good at it. But yeah, he's probably gained 1,000 since. I mean, you're right. Probably since we ended. Los Angeles, thanks for the 10. So JD has witnesses and proof that he was defamed and abused. AH has no medical records, no witnesses besides her sister of abuse, and no proof of defamation along with bogus claim. Easy for jury. You hope, but you know it's still an uphill battle. I mean, it better be. They better look at this and better be like, yeah. Gloria, thanks for the 2. Thinking, will JD sell his artwork from trial? That would be cool. I think he should make an art book. You know, trial art. Susan, thanks for the 20. One of the most informative and eloquent speakers on the issues. Yes, he is. You're talking about Greg, I'm sure, because he is eloquent. He is such a good, he's so good. Spectre 101, thanks for the 5. Hi, that umbrella god. That's an amazing cross from Angel Camille. What's next after cross? Well, we get I mean, we're gonna have her people finish. She has 8 hours left. Remember, she only has 8 hours left, and they have, again, Johnny's team has 10 hours more time left on the clock than they do. They have, to put that into perspective, they could run an entire day and not have Amber Heard's team say anything back to them. So they got a lot they can do with rebuttal. Like, they're not even going to be able to answer some of these witnesses. So if they choose carefully, they will destroy her on rebuttal because she can't answer any of these claims. They could put together almost an entire case attacking her lack of credibility, and she can't do anything about it. I mean, you got to admit that's beautiful, right? Like, I think that's amazing. I think it's crazy too. I mean, when you, like I said, when you think about it. Oh man. Anyway, so I think I'm going to end here. I think we're at a good spot. Here's a question: if I'm in the mood tonight, do you want to have a live stream tonight? Like later on, if I'm in the mood for it, you want to have one? There's stuff that I haven't covered. There's some good breakdowns. I'll either do a live stream or I'll cover something else. They have 18. Yeah, she has 8. So Greg Ellis is 12. Good, good. I got a good breakdown of something that I haven't been able to cover. And I really want to cover some breakdowns and do a few things. I got something I kind of want to mention. I need to check on something and make sure I can mention it. Oh, does that umbrella guy know things? Yeah. Know some interesting stuff. But actually, like, again, people were talking about, well, let's talk about Adam Waldman tonight too. Let's talk about his suspension and everything too, because a lot of people don't seem to even know about that. So we should bring that up as well. But anyway, I'm going to end here. I think this has been good. Let me play some Sexy Toes first take a break. I'm good. I'm going to take my daughter over to the comic shop or something for a little bit. I'm going to drop a video. I got a video made on the Adam Waldman thing. I think I'm going to drop it at 12:30 if everybody's good with that. I think that'll be good if you'll support it. Like, just make sure that it goes up. My God, yesterday's trial, that is the most, after the naming thing, I got 300,000 views on that. I've never had anything close to that. Like, for real. I've never had that much. Like, I don't even know what to say some days. Like, I've never had, like, I've never even imagined having this kind of push or pull. Never, and I hope, like I said, we can carry that into other cases too. Because this stuff is, like I said, it's important. So anyway, I should have a video drop in about 15 minutes. And what I need, I'm checking something real fast. See, I've got it set up. Actually, I made a video this morning. I'm making videos all the time. It's funny. Check this out. I made a video on that, the Adam Waldman thing. See, I made one for, look, explaining some stuff. I talk about it a little bit. Again, I'm getting people asking me about specifics on that, on discussion. They also, here's a question, like I've been getting as well, with people asking me, why didn't I just mention that before? Hey, that would have helped my channel out. I could have gotten like probably 500,000 subs by now. Yeah, I would have had to burn Adam Waldman for it. Like, if he mentioned it he mentioned it himself. But the way I look at that, I would burn somebody's confidence. Like, hopefully people understand like how important it is to be able to communicate with somebody privately and to tell you, like somebody I want people to be able to trust me or to trust, us. Like, we've got to be able to do that. YouTube is so nasty. Like, there's so many tea spilling weirdos out there that just try to ruin other people. They try to hurt other people and they try to defame. And I hate that. Like, I don't want to be that. I want to bring, like, if I have to be that, I just will quit because I can't do that. But I do want to There are bots in the chats. Yeah, if you see a bot in there, I need a. I probably need a couple more mods as well. Crystal, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership too. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Thank you for that. The tea community is awful. Yeah, well, it's harmful. Like, again, yes, I could have told you that I have sources. I could name people, and my God, like in the immediate, I would get subs for that, of course, because people are like, oh wow. But at the end of the day, these people need to feel like I could tell you again, they told me I can mention this. So the way I'll say this, okay. I was contacted by one of her friends or ex-friends, and they told me some just fascinating stuff. But if I name them, you think about the damage this does publicly. Like that would be terrible. And they would be like, if I focus, unless they want to, if I hyper focus, you realize like the crazies that surround her because somebody turned on her. Do you realize like I told them, they thought about, they were going to talk publicly at first, and I told them, that's all them if they want to, but think about it for a day or so. And they did think about it, and they said, well, maybe they were in the mood to speak though at first. And again, I'm not trying to talk people out of speaking. That's not the case at all. But I don't want you risking your safety with these crazy people. They're going to hurt you. They're going to hurt your career. They're going to do anything they can. And if you're okay with that, then that's good. You're okay with what they do. If you can bounce back, awesome, Give me one second. But anyway, like I said, I just don't want to burn any sources. And I hope, like I said, I hope people understand why you've got to respect people when they come forward. You have to respect them because it's you're putting them in a they're risking everything in some situations just to speak to you. They're going against they're also going against powerful institutions. Can you imagine, like JD, his enemies, and I'm going to end on this idea here. JD's enemies, right? They're some of the most powerful people in the world. Can you imagine just as a regular person? Like, it boggles me sometimes when I think about, I've been talking about multi-billion-dollar corporations. I've been talking about the richest man in the world. I've been talking about their behavior. I've been talking about some of the social elites. I mean, to the point that it's like, oh my God, we're having a conversation with people that will crush you. And some people they can't do that. They're afraid, and I don't blame them. Maybe I should be more afraid. I just maybe I'm too dumb. What does it mean to burn sources? Mystic Wolf says it'd be like, say say Mystic Wolf contacted me and was like, yo, I know this stuff right here because I work at blah, blah, blah. I work at Warner Brothers, and here's all the dirt on it, right? And I was like, all right. And then I turn around and say, guess who told me this? Mystic Wolf. Or it was something you were like, well, there's something going on behind the scenes, and it's so incredible. I got to tell you this, but it can't go public because it could hurt me really badly. I'm going to tell you this because it'll explain some of what's going on, but you can't put this public. And then I turn around and make a video and say, guess what I heard? And it destroys your life for it. That's burning a source. You're a source telling me about something. And some people, they think that you should be able to just throw that out there, but it'll destroy lives. And again, it gets people aimed at, and it could hurt somebody, get them hurt badly. All right, James, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership too. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. David Robinson, thanks for the 5. Thanks for your work. My brother was falsely accused of DV. Lost everything. My sister has BPD. So I know what it looks like, and she struggles. Yes, it is a struggle. It is very much a struggle, this stuff. So I'm glad to see people that could give a real life testament on there too. I am. Thanks for the 2. I volunteer to be a mod. I'm on every day. All right, I'll grab about 3 people. So thank you for that too. Hairdresser to the stars. Thanks for the 5. AH said on the day she filed the RO, Rocky had to physically her firmly putting makeup on to go to yeah. I had to physically stop her. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Yeah. She never saw AH put that makeup on that day. Yeah, that's interesting, huh? Denise, thanks for the 5. No statement on that 5, but plenty of statement with you back in the channel. Anyway, I'm careful with mods. Why I don't just hand them out. I had a mod one time that decided, like, I was mean. I don't remember what I did. Maybe I didn't hype their channel enough. I just don't remember. It was something dumb. And they decided that they were going to hurt my channel by banning people, and they banned it took me a day to undo, but also they banned people so my daughter would come on and she would, tell a story or something, and people would, they like she just, come in and tell a story, and people had super chatted her. They were like, well, the people banned them, and the ban cost those super chats, which I thought was very rude. And it was because somebody wanted to be a jerk because they didn't get their way with something, because I told them no. So I'm very careful about who I used to give wrenches out to anybody. If you wanted one, I would have just gave it to you, because I mean, why should I care? But I had to start caring. So if I'm slow about it, that has nothing to do with you. Okay. That's what I'm saying. It has everything to do with stupid people out there that have made me be a lot more cautious. Like I said, I used to just give them out because I didn't care, but then people, idiots want to try to channel damage because that's who they are. So I had to start caring. Anyway, all right. Well, hey, I got a video that's going to drop in maybe 5 minutes. So let me catch that last super chat there. How come there's no trial? No trials on Fridays. It's just an empty day. They do catch up in the courtroom, so. Just to say, let me say, Amanda, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for that membership too. And welcome to Dogs. Appreciate it. Mystic Wolf, thanks for the 5. Have you seen the video? Marilyn Manson was down the day of the JD and Amber. Yes. So there's a video from the assistant of Marilyn Manson that proves that the Thanksgiving story doesn't exist. I mean, it proves beyond a shadow of doubt she was lying. Anyway, well, hey, I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to let you catch my video that will come up exactly 4 minutes from now. Please, for that first minute, look, it's 4 minutes away. If you would, click on it right when it comes up because it will drive it to many people. And I'm trying to see what happens. I called it something like, Johnny Depp's lawyer spoke to me, something like that, because it just talks about what went on there. And it's not a tell-all or anything like that. It's just talking about, the mentioning in court because people have been asking about it. So I thought I would put that in a little video thing. So anyway, I'm going to jump again. If you would watch it right away. The last time I asked that, people did great. In the middle of the day, I want to see if it drives the hell out of it. So if you would, again, it's in like 3 minutes. It'll go live at 12:30. So I'm going to end here so the stream doesn't interrupt it. But I appreciate you folks. And we may do one tonight or I'll do a video. I don't know which one yet, but we'll do something. Okay. Appreciate you. We'll see you soon.